Beerded Guys for the cast. Cause they'll tell you all about what they taste. We got Mudhole, B&Q, we loves Star Wars and grilling too. And Ops guy loves baseball and board games, he's played them all. There's no place I'd rather spend the Monday nights than here, having a few chuckles and damn good beer. Now it's time.
You didn't get a self ticket.
Two Beerded Guys.
And people would have bought it.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to episode 51 of the Two Beerded Guys. I'm TBG_Ops Guy. Our guest today is
Barton Lewis.
And I messed with John just because he was ready to go.
Sorry, John.
Mudhog B&Q behind the camera.
John.
I'll scream at.
Sorry, guys. I know.
We'll cue John first next time.
It always goes me, John, guest. But I saw him getting ready to go, and I just had to throw him under the bus a little bit. Love you, John. But welcome back, guys. We're excited. We have 8 great beers, including 3 or 4 of some of our very favorite breweries we've had on the show before. We have a good friend on the show, Barton Lewis. John and I've met, and I've known Barton now for quite a few years through books. We met at Books and Brews.
Absolutely.
Because he's one of my good friends' best friend.
He coaches one of my best friend's kids in baseball. Sorry, John. Had to do one baseball thing.
So I had to jump on the
Worst
opportunity
guest
to get Barton on the show as one of the owners of Indiana Untapped. It's just a perfect situation. What they do fits in with our show so well. It was just too easy not to.
Yeah, and this is like a minute away from where I live, so it's like the commute was fantastic.
Also,
Yeah,
a great excuse to drink beer, right?
When you text me that, it was like, I live 2 minutes away.
Yeah, I was like, this is perfect. I know exactly where this is.
We'll make sure we pay for that Uber Lyft tonight.
Oh, that works. That works. I didn't have the red M&Ms in the brandy glass, which we'll work on next time. That's okay.
Hey, I'm sorry. I told you, you're not quite big enough yet.
Yeah, I didn't get a writer. By the way, listeners, I was declined a writer. So think about that for a second.
What's a writer? No, I'm kidding.
I was going to say,
I'm kidding. I know what a writer is. We're just not that big yet to even offer.
No, we are. He's just not.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. I think it was me.
But no, we're excited to have some great beer. Matt, you got anything for us before we go into our anticipated beer of the night?
We got Michiana Beer Reviews on us. What up, guys?
What up, Thad?
Oh.
And yeah, that's about it.
Awesome. I wonder if we're live on Facebook yet. Sometimes it's a little slow.
Should be.
But we do have our anticipated beer of the night. Before we get into that, make sure you check the right side of your screen for all our sponsors of the show. They're great people, great things, so make sure...
Just making sure.
You can do that without sound.
John doesn't trust any of us today.
They keep reminding me they didn't get me a writer. It's kind of like an in-your-face thing.
But check out on the right side of your screen our sponsors, as well as Matt's Taver code at the bottom. That way we can buy more beer, and you get a $10 discount on your Taver orders. Next up is our anticipated beer of the night, and as always, we will start with off-screen Matt.
Real quick, we had some other people ironically pop up on Facebook. Russell Owens on here says, "Yeah, it's Monday." What's up, Russell?
What up, Russ?
And Ben Barrett, can we ditch this?
What up, Ben?
Says, can we ditch this Barton dipshit?
I text Charles a little bit.
He says one more thing about baseball. He will be.
Ben, if you don't know, has 2 kids. It's very, very subtle.
Oh, and Brett just jumped on. What's up, Brett?
What's up, Brett? I text Charles and was like, "Hey, Barton's on the show tonight. Text anyone who wants to make fun of him."
Somebody have a lot of comments tonight.
You're gonna have some bandwidth issues. That's probably gonna happen.
I had a good time
On
with
a
that.
podcast, you can do it.
Yeah.
I mean, it was Charles.
I'm already having an off day. Reading's gonna be tough. All right, favorite or beer of the night or most anticipated beer.
There we go. You're struggling.
Yeah, I told you. Really, I know I'm looking forward most to the ale song because they are just so good. But I'm gonna go with the Ye Which Enter here because I'm really curious to try that. We haven't had anything from them. Label art's cool, name's cool. It sounds like it's gonna be a potentially good stout, and it's a companion piece to another one we got too. So it gives me 2 beers to look forward to out of them.
We don't have that beer. We have Ye Who Enter here.
Yeah, not which. Which.
I was trying to read it from here. I got a whole bunch of electronic
man.
shit in my way.
Ben, help me.
John, my man, what's up? What about you?
All right. So there is going to be lots of good beer tonight. Hour 2 is going to be amazing. I absolutely know this. However, the one I'm most anticipating is going to be is that the Last Guardian, the Bearded Guard style.
They're Belgian.
From River North.
Were we supposed to drink every time someone's...
Because we had stouts from them, and the stouts are amazing, so it's a little bit different style, and super excited.
Barton?
I gotta say, I'm looking forward to the one from one of our forgotten states, the one from Anchorage, Alaska over there. One, it has a smashingly great design on it. I mean, it just looks absolutely amazing. Super cool can. My dad spent a lot of time growing up in Alaska when he was a kid, son of an Air Force rat, so I don't think I've ever had a beer from Alaska, so I'm definitely looking forward to that.
That one I'm looking forward to. When we were picking out the beers, we saw the Anchorage can, and I straight up was like, yes. But for me, it's going to have to be, I'm going to have to piggyback on John a little bit. The River North's what I'm looking forward to the most. I have technically cheated and had this in their tap room before, so I already know it was really good on tap, so I'm excited to have it out of the bottle.
Nice.
Yeah, so I've gotten the chance to actually go there, so it's fun.
And where is there?
It's in Denver, Colorado.
All right.
I was there right before Christmas and met their marketing girl, and we were able to talk a bunch of different beers, and she had me sample a crap ton of beers, and I had a really good time.
Nice.
That 10-minute drive back to where I was staying was that was fun.
A little rocky.
Ooh, fun.
And Brett chimes in too, says Alaska is not forgotten on this show. He is not wrong. We've had
a few Anchorage beers
probably
on the
helped
show.
Anchorage keep their doors open.
Well, you can tell Ben to shut up.
No, that was Brett, my brother. But
Whatever.
But still, tell Ben to
tell Ben to shut up.
Ben, I'm told to tell you to shut up.
Our first beer of the night, we'll go ahead and pour before we dive into anything else, is from Modest Brewing out of Minneapolis, Minnesota. It is the Mango End Layer Fruited Gosa. 7.3% ABV.
Ooh,
so
that's
a high swinging
That's a
Gosa.
high
That's a full letter
Yeah.
right there.
That's a big boy Gosa.
Excited.
These poured out. We got some cool glassware today. I love it. Barton's rocking the windmill glass.
I like the windmill. I'm glad they changed the font for the Windmill Brewing. It used to be this really. I hope if they're listening. It was a great change because it was this god awful handwritten thing and it didn't reproduce well. So kudos to you guys.
Chris, take credit for that.
So since you guys can't witness this, it looks like he's pouring orange juice. Like really.
So actually,
we are on camera.
It's barely
is
on the bottom of the
live,
screen, yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
It's all those goofy faces you were making. Oh wait, that's just your face.
It is.
Yeah, we're a live.
I don't like any of you guys. I'm just gonna sit here and just drink.
I didn't
like
make
a
any
beer.
faces.
Wow, let's say hell. Some
I
feels
was like, wait a
wrong.
minute, I thought I had the windmill.
He
glass.
No,
Yeah,
he
yeah.
has to have
He
the
has
one
to
with
have a
the handle because he broke a glass, so he now has to have a handle.
Oh yeah. It's all fun and games. So they start breaking.
Yeah,
Stuff.
it's lessons to learn on the show.
He actually broke a windmill glass.
That is interesting.
I was very sad about that.
is.
I mean, that's like sludge.
It's thick.
Yeah.
It is thick.
Yeah, it's coating the glass as you rock it around. Like
It is very
goodness.
viscous.
Well, that's drinkable.
I'm not mad.
I mean, I wouldn't take it on a date, but I mean, I would certainly drink it. That's.
I wouldn't take it on a date, but I wouldn't kick it out of bed if I woke up the next morning with it.
No, I'd leave a check.
See, I'm more of a cash guy.
See, yeah.
Checks are easily traceable.
That's fair. That's fair. But hey, you know what? This is actually quite interesting. I don't think I've ever had anything like this before. I've had gozes many a times, but I don't know what's going on in the land of lakes there. But this is phenomenal.
I've had fruited goses. I've had fruited Berliner Weisses. But this texture is different than almost any of the fruiteds we've had on the show.
Yeah, that's throwing me off a little bit.
It's more melted, like
a
slush,
juice concentrate.
Yeah,
like
it's
the
like a
orange
juice
juice in a can.
concentrate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like you add water to this.
Yeah, that frozen OJ in a can. You know, you could do the cranberry dressing,
It's like when
jay it
you
off
add,
to get it
it's
out.
like when you put the water in to really make it orange juice from the concentrate. You didn't put enough water in. That's what it feels like.
You can like take a mango hard seltzer, add it to this, and like make this really nice frothy cocktail.
Oh yeah, you could.
Ooh.
That's just alcoholics talking.
But I will say, at 7.3%,
yeah,
it's
you don't
already
need much. You don't need much more. You
It's
don't
coming
need
out
much more.
swinging to begin with.
Well, the seltzer would actually cut it down at 5%.
Yeah,
right?
they'll water it down a little bit.
I'm not used to gosas that you add alcohol to and would water it down.
Yeah,
but,
that's definitely admirable for. Is that you think part of how it got the thicker consistency, just the more booziness or something, or
I just think
that's
they
related?
added a shit ton of whatever they added.
Well, it
to
looks like there's malt in there for sure. Like, they got malted wheat, but I mean,
Yeah.
that's a lot though. But it doesn't taste. It doesn't taste yeasty or malty. It's very fruity. It's like a mango slushy. It's really, really, and dangerous, as you said. At 7+.
Very drinkable.
A couple of these will knock you back a little bit.
What I'm missing from it though is that softness that we so oftentimes get with a lot of these.
Yeah. But again, I think that comes more from the different consistency than we're used to. So you can't really compare it to past ones. And we try not to on the show anyways.
Right.
But it's just look at his glass.
Oh yeah, I mean that's
Definitely going to have a rinse after this
Yeah.
one, Matt.
Which Michiana Beer says, that looks delicious. Like, right before you even lifted it up.
It's interesting. So, for those of you that are new to the show, including our guest, we rate our beers on the Untapped 0.25 to 5 scale. It goes on the Two Beerded Guys score, so any guest doesn't have to worry about it going onto their stuff. But it goes in the 0.25. 3 for us is a perfectly average beer. So that's the perfectly average score. Above 3 is above average. 4 or higher is like, if I'm looking for that style, I'm going to look for this beer. Like, I'm going to go search this out. That 4.5 and higher is just damn good beer. And we've only had, 4 or 5s on the show ever.
Yeah.
So getting to a 5 means you're stupid good. Under 3 is below average, but still very drinkable. That 2 to 3 range, it's still very, very drinkable. Under 2, you're getting into the 1 or lower is, for the love of God, throw this away and give me a water.
right.
We've only had 3 beers under a 1 out of 450. We've had 3 under a 1, and we've only had 4 that were a 5. So
I would always rank at least a 1 because effort was put into it, and I always appreciate
we
effort.
had 2 beers that I don't think there was effort put into it.
That's fair then.
Yeah. And then 1 was just so infected that it didn't need to be above a 1.
Interesting.
But 2 were just, I don't think effort was put into anything. Tasted
Pride.
Listerman Pride, which we love Listerman on this
I think
show.
there's effort put in there. It just went back.
Listerman's good.
Or it just
It
was
tasted like dirty hot dog water with mustard.
Interesting.
It was supposed to be a sour that was just.
It was trash.
Yeah,
It was
bad.
unanimous 0.25.
Oh,
Yeah.
hey. All right. Yeah, because Listerman, they
We
definitely make
we drink a
great
shit
beers.
ton of Listerman on this show.
Oh, okay.
He goes to Cincinnati all the time. That's where he's from, so he brings us back Listerman all the time. So we'll get to scoring, and John will be first. Again, it's in that 0.25. 3 or higher is above. 3 is average, and above that's above average.
Yeah, so this one didn't quite get it for me. I don't think it was bad by any means. However, if it's not going to have that sweetness, softness to it, being a Goza, not all Gozas are going to have that, and I get that. However, it also didn't have much tartness. Like I wanted a little bit of that pucker then, and I didn't get that either. So not bad, very drinkable, but I'm going to go 2.75.
Whoo, you're
Ouch.
a dick, because that is definitely lower than what I score. You're up.
Well, I would have to say, if there is a style of beer that I absolutely loathe, it is a Goza. I look at
That's
them
Good start to the show, Tyler.
That is funny as shit.
and I automatically sidestep to something else. I would rather have hot dog flavored water than drink a Goza. So when this was the opening beer, I was like,
Wasn't that Limp
oh,
Bizkit
great.
CD?
What kind of crap did you invite me to? However, that being said, it was very interesting, not much, but I will always drink a beer regardless because I have not had every Goza. So this is a prime example. One, its presentation was great. Like the very thickness of it just put me in awe. I was really blown away by how it looked.
Very Instagrammable beer.
Very
Yeah.
much so. It coated the entire tongue. I mean, it still has like this lasting mango bit on there, and it had really good finish. A little fruity for my taste, but it wasn't sweet. It was a very soft fruitiness. If that's what you're looking for in a beer, I think it's very much on point. And at 7%, it's really no joking around. I would put this probably somewhere a little bit higher than John, maybe like a 3.5 range. For one, it did present well. It did coat well, and it did finish well, and it's a beer that I would definitely avoid if it wasn't for, it was brought to my attention. So, very good effort. I would like to try other things from Modest Brewing
We've had a
Company
few
out of
things by
Minnesota,
them,
just
yeah.
to see if they're doing something like this, making a beer that I would normally not drink drinkable. I'd like to see other things that they can do.
So I'm actually going to agree with Barton. I was going to give the same score, 3.5. So that averages out John to a 3.25 for the Two Beerded Guys score. Because again, for a reminder, it's the panel here that gets to rate it. Off-screen, Matt, his score doesn't count. But we will get to that just in a second. But man,
Matt, I know you've had an off day, so just
It
stress
was-
you don't.
I don't think I've forgotten that yet.
John's big thing was it wasn't tart enough. For me, I loved that the mango flavor was dominant without being over tart or over sweet. Like they didn't throw that sweetness at you to the point where you're like, this
I
is
didn't
sugar.
get a lot of sweet.
There was
Yeah.
very little sweet, just a little sour. That mango was dominant, and it was such a unique body, and at 7.3%, who can complain? Matt, not that you count, but what would your score have been?
Thanks, Matt. On to the next one.
He fits in well on here. I would go with 3 1/4, so kind of bouncing right about between where you guys were. I'm not normally a big Goza fan myself either. Normally, I just kind of disdain them. I've had a couple that really kind of twisted my arm on it. This one, I think, is one that is very drinkable. It's 7.3. It's got to get some above average points for that. I like the mango. I would have liked a little bit more mango. Mine was there, but it was kind of like a subtle. I could have gone for a little more robust flavor on that. But yeah, strong, solid beer to start with.
Nice. Before we get to our next beer, the big thing that I wanted to make sure we really talk about, he has notes that I can't wait to hear all his points he's wanting to bring up today. First and foremost, though, is, again, Barton is one of the owners of Indiana on Tap.
Woo!
Indiana on Tap here in Indiana. Does a ton of beer fest and all sorts of stuff in the beer scene. We had a chance to go to Loggers in Lawrence after shutdown had happened here in Indiana and everything had started opening back up. They had we've talked about it on the show. They had a great socially distanced, fantastic event in Lawrence, and we had a blast at it. Probably a little too much fun. Matt. But
Damn it, man.
Can you really have too much
All
fun
I
at a
wanted
beer
to
fest?
do was follow strangers.
we had
Maybe I saved you.
we had a great time. And so, Barton, what did you bring to talk about? Give us a little snippet. We'll get more into it later, but get started.
Well, we'll go ahead and start talking about events. Obviously, last year was a weird year. We couldn't do events the way we used to be able to do them in the past, and but hats off to the state of Indiana and the great communication we get from all the public offices, like the health department and whatnot, of what it takes to put on a good event. Like, even without a global pandemic, like, we want our guests to be safe and have a good time, and we know that we're pumping them full of alcohol. Like, our events are all the alcohol, all the samples you can have, which does not equal all you can drink. And we have a great fan base that show up, have a phenomenal time, sample all the beers that they want to sample, even the beers they don't want to sample, to try things out. So obviously the landscape has changed a little bit. We're doing things differently this year, and I want to touch base on one event. Tickets had gone on sale. It's for Savor Lebanon. It happens in February, and people like the February event in Lebanon because it's indoor, and you kind of have cabin fever. Like, you just want to get out. Christmas is behind you, the holidays are behind you, and you just want to go do something. It's inside, it's warm, live music, lots of food. So tickets had gone on sale, and the mayor came back and said, hey, look, guys, I'm not feeling really safe about it right now. I don't think that people in Lebanon want to kind of do an indoor event, and that's fine. So what we did was we switched it. It's going to be May 1st, and it's going to be downtown Lebanon, like right on the square. And hopefully, if things work out, Clues Brewing Company will open up that same weekend. So Clues... Bernie Clues and his brother started a brewing company. I'm from Boone County, Thorntown. Went to Western Boone, back-to-back high school, 2A football state champs. Go Weebo! And they're excited. When people's left downtown, it kind of hurt a little bit. I know a lot of friends from back home that love People's, and they love going there, but it just didn't work out in their demographic. They're focusing more on brewing beer and distribution than so much the restaurant standpoint. So we're looking forward to Clues coming in, being another member of the Tasting Society Marketplace, and that's going to be May 1st. So if you bought tickets, don't worry about it. Your tickets are still going to be valid. The event has just changed to May 1st, and if you haven't got tickets yet, by all means, go to Untapped Tickets and go to the event and type in Beerded with a capital B. That's a promo code we're offering right now for Two Beerded Guys.
Beard or bearded?
Beerded.
All right, because when you texted me the other day, you said beard.
Then maybe it's beard. Well, but yeah, try them both. But actually, it is beard with a capital B, and that's $10 off your ticket to Savor Lebanon. Over 30 breweries are going to be there, which means around 150 different flavors. Food, live music, outdoor event. It's safe.
Matt, if you are feeling frisky, you might be able to find that link on Facebook and put it into the chat.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds like a
For
really
the
tall
event.
task for
I
right
know.
now.
So
There's
but-
a lot.
To clarify, this is Beard, B-E-A-R-D for
Yes.
the code, not the way we spell it. Okay.
Correct.
Yeah, the way
Yeah.
normal people spell it.
Wait, we like beer and we have
Oh,
beards.
that's kind of clever-ish, I guess. But yeah. But no, and we're looking forward to it. And, we'll get back to tasting some beer, but then I'll touch base on some of the safety things that we're putting in play for everybody that shows up, to know that we are thinking about your safety first. And so are, the municipalities that are putting these events on, because you can't drink beer if you're dead.
It's very accurate. And
yeah.
before we started, we actually had a chance to talk a little bit about some of the different things the municipalities are doing, and I can't wait to really ask questions on that because they seem to be very communicative. So we'll get back to our beer, but I'm excited about how open everybody seems to be, and it's easy to get information for you.
Great state where we're living in right now, guys.
Quick, can I jump in? We got a few
Absolutely,
comments that
go
popped
ahead.
up. So,
It's one of my favorite parts of the show is how people comment.
Unless it's Ben Barrick.
well,
Especially if it's Ben Barrick.
Brett started off, said, Matt, you always count in my book.
Of course, my brother likes you.
We've also got Randy Moisner checked on. So
What
what's
up, Randy?
fellas? Tyler, sorry about your Browns.
Yeah, me too. It's fine.
Ben Barrick says, look, Barton pretending he knows what to write about. Looking like he knows how to pretend how to write. Sorry.
He didn't really write anything.
I drew a picture of Ben's kids, actually. Yeah.
Kevin Atwell's on as well.
What's up,
Hey guys,
Kevin?
what's up, Kevin? Jordan's on.
What's up, George?
She also says, hello,
Peter
Barton.
Jordan, you will always be the greatest basketball player, in my opinion.
She says, Mark comes by our store often. Love your site, publication events, and overall support of local tap houses and breweries.
Jordan
All
is the owner of Books and Brews Noblesville.
All
Jordan
right.
Fox.
Well, thanks, Jordan.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry about Mark. He has gorgeous calves, though. Next time he's in, it doesn't matter what time of year, he always wears shorts. And his calves, this guy, I mean, he does a lot of stair-stepping. There's no doubt about it.
Calves for days.
He's a phenomenal writer. I love working with him, but, man, his calves are dynamite.
And we also got Bill Mancuso. Sorry if I messed that
What
up.
up, Bill?
Bill!
He says, ask Barton about the bread man. And fun fact, Barton only drinks Busch Light.
So Bill's having some trouble right now. So his last name's Mancuso, and as you know, in Italy, the entire Mancuso crime family is on trial. So it's a hard time for him right now. Bill, like we're thinking about you and Uncle Luigi, Blondie, Knuckles, all those guys. I hope they beat the rat, man. I personally think it's a bunch of garbage, but you hang in there, bud. You hang in there.
Did they get him a tax fraud?
Actually, they're being indicted like on 900 separate things, and it's like 300 members of Bill's family. It's all the way down the line, man. It's not looking good for the home team, but
Even little Giorgio?
Giorgio's probably in the worst shape there is. Yeah, Giorgio's probably going to go first, and he's such a dainty guy. He's not going to fare well in prison by any means, but.
And that, folks, is why Barton's on the show.
By the way, that's a true story. The Mancuso crime family is on trial in Italy right now, and it's kind of a big deal. Like, we obviously have bigger problems here in the States, but Bill, I'm thinking about you, bud.
Not if they watch you talking about him like this online.
Our next beer is a 8%er from Lupulin Brewing Company. It is the Sophistry IPA. Lupulin is, why am I drawing a blank all of a sudden? We've had their beer enough, I should remember this. Out of Minnesota, actually. Back-to-back Minnesota beers. Big Lake, Minnesota.
Bill also says, don't forget Cousin Fatty. Confirm for my dad we are related.
Well, I'm trying not to, bring people's names out in a public forum, Bill. I mean...
And Jordan says her birthday is the same as Michael Jordan, so perfect shout out.
That was a perfect shout out.
There you go.
All right. Sophistry from Lupulin Brewing.
I like the back-to-back Minnesota beers. I feel as though Prince should be here with us to sample some stuff. Miss you,
In
Prince.
spirit, yeah.
Welcome to Sophistry, an ever-changing series of beers that explores the possibilities of what hop flavor can be. This is Sophistry 7 with Citra and Amarillo hops.
Well, as far as the hazy goes, that's...
Really expect you to start off.
Yeah.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to drink beer.
What's the date? This is an older one?
Yeah, this is one of our older cans.
Probably
This
a little
is
less than fresh, but
August.
So, yeah.
So not one of our oldest. That's for dang sure.
We're coming in at 8% on that.
Yep. So we made the mistake. We made the mistake of ordering a crap. Well, and by we mean Matt made the mistake of ordering a crap ton of IPAs all at once this year, and we haven't been able to get through them all. So we recently, well, actually a while back now, reorganized them all, and we're now taking two of the older ones now every show to make sure we have to drink them, and then adding in a newer one to make sure we don't continue to always have old.
That's pretty good thinking for
Yeah.
you guys. I mean,
Aren't you-
especially
Yeah,
I
I
think
was
it's his idea.
It was.
I mean, you guys look like a
done
bunch of
one
Ben
thing.
Barracks, but there's brains going on here, which is very
Well,
impressive.
in combined, we have one brain.
Okay,
Yeah.
well that's one's better than
We put our heads together.
Round up.
Round up.
like an Abby something brain, an Abby normal, if you will.
How'd that go from Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, John? We put our heads together, we can really get nothing accomplished.
Great movie, by the way. That's one of those ones that people just don't watch, and they should because it's phenomenal.
Agreed.
It's about the only Thanksgiving movie out there.
Well, there's
And
Thanksgiving.
and you can see.
But the only one
I brought that up too. And you can watch or listen to that amazing drunken movie review. Words are hard for me. Also, Matt's rubbing off over
It's
here.
Monday.
But you can listen to that drunken movie review wherever podcasts are found. If you go to turfsupradio.com, we actually have our own podcast link on there, and you can download it straight from there, or you can find it on Apple, Amazon, Spotify, you name it, it's there. It's Two Beerded Guys Drunken Movie Reviews. You can listen to all our different movie reviews we've done, and Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is one of them.
Now, real quick, though, clarification on that. The only one right now that's on our own podcast channel is
the
Little Miss
newest.
Sunshine.
Yeah.
All the other movie reviews are on Nightcap with Russell.
Yeah. But if you just type in Two Beerded Guys Drunken Movie Reviews in
You'll find
Google, you will find all of them.
I think it might have been
the first hit.
the only Steve Carell movie I like because I just don't like him as a person. Because
Really?
it's because of The Office. Because I work in an office.
Oh.
Those people are real.
Yeah,
So like
yeah.
that general irritation of it's like, no, this isn't funny. I know that guy.
I lived this.
I work with that idiot.
I was that guy!
And it just drives me nuts.
So which character does that make you?
I was going to ask.
Oh man,
Good question.
you know what? I've only seen
say
like
Jim.
2 episodes of the show
Ah,
because
okay.
I literally just refused to watch it because it strikes home to me.
Are you Daryl?
I don't know who Daryl is. Like,
Yeah, I definitely
who's the
did-
good-looking guy? I'll be him.
I don't know if there really is one on
But
there.
that would be a lie.
It's TV.
Yeah, it's like Office Space. I worked at an engineering
Yeah.
place for a year, and I was like, oh, this is cubicle life. Like, Office Space nailed
Exactly.
it 112%.
Soft. Little sweetness to it.
Yep.
Absolutely no bitter at all.
You said there was citron in there.
Citra and Amarillo.
Can I just remove
bad.
things from there?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
After it's been up there for a little while, he switches back to the main camera. So we have this camera is what we're on at all times.
Most
And
times.
That one's the cam.
Gotcha.
Clearly someone did their homework before they got on the show.
He did. He just worried about the stuff he had to talk about.
Touche.
Yeah.
So
He's
it's,
the most prepared guest we've ever had.
I do feel like the flavors have dropped out a little bit, but it's good. I can tell it's a well-crafted beer. I'm not getting any off flavors or anything. Yeah, I'd be interested to try it fresh.
Yeah, as far as the designing standpoint goes, I love the simplicity of the logo. It's just a very nice, soft can, simple things going on, which I've always enjoyed. As far as the beer goes, though, it's not much more spectacular than any other hazy there is. I mean, great if your job was just to make a hazy, nailed it. You know, but if you were trying to make a hazy that was over the top, delicious,
We've noticed now that everybody's gotten into the hazies,
And I bought all
what
of them.
they've done is people have stopped shooting for the moon with them anymore, and it's settled down to we use the exact same hops almost every time. Every single brewery is using Citra, Amarillo, and Mosaic almost every single time.
yeah. Like I would like to see somebody like throw a Chinook in there just to kind of like mix it up a little bit to see what you can do.
It would catch me off guard. I'd be like, oh, it's a hazy. We're using Citra, Amarillo, Chinook?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
It's like, what, I don't want stone fruit in my
I'd all of a
hazy,
sudden be
maybe
like,
I don't.
I'd just be sitting here like pouring the whole thing. None of you guys would get shit. I'd be like, it's different. It's mine. So Barton, you actually rate this first. Do you have any last thing to say before you give it its score?
Any last words?
You know what? No. I think we kind of all touched on the points that there were. I mean, it is a very good hazy beer. So I mean, if you see it in the store and you're just like in the mood for a hazy from someplace you never had before, I would highly recommend getting it. But if you're just like, as far as a hazy goes, I have certainly had far better. But I would give it, I would give it a minus. I don't want to like tear it down a little bit, but comparing to, I would give it like a 2.25. Yeah, see that? Oh,
Okay. Yeah, okay.
because it was good. Very drinkable. 8%'s a little bit on the high end. But the color was good. The finish was good. Like I said, it was a hazy beer. So, and I still love you, Prince. I miss you. I wish you were back.
For me, I was going to go just slightly higher. I'm giving it a 2.5. I think it's good. It's drinkable. 8% makes it fun. Most New Englands, I am typically aiming just a little lower just because I like to be able to have more than one if I enjoy the beer. But 8% still fun. You can't get upset when it's going to get you drunk faster. But I'm going to give it a 2.5. I think the flavor's solid, but nothing special, and it doesn't even quite get to average. Just a little watery in the end. So 2.5.
That's fair. I'm going to go 2.75. I'll just increment that up a little bit.
I can do that math in my head, though.
Yeah.
2.5.
I already had it written down.
I didn't put the rest in. I knew where we were going.
Beat you to it, bitch.
It's not bad by any means. I think the crafting of the beer is good. A nice body to it. It's definitely hazy.
Piece of the beer.
Same time, it's a little bit older. Some of the hop flavors have fallen out a little bit. So, not bad. I'd like to try it fresh, but yeah, 2.75.
Yeah, no, I agree. It was what it said it was. So sometimes like you see on a can, oh, it's gonna taste like this, and then you drink it. I'm like, well, no, it's not.
And we talked about that on the show.
We have a saying for that.
You lied.
If it's on the can, it better be in the can.
Yeah, we talk about that on the show a lot, especially it really gets into it with stouts and stuff when they tell you, oh, it's going to have chilies and yada, 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 and then it has none of that. And you're like, well, that one, I bought it.
Yeah, especially when it's not anywhere. Like you wait for, okay, here's the finish. It should have like a peppery bit if it has chili in it. It's like, nope, just gone whatsoever.
Also, I want to throw this out here. I just got notification that Chris Knight, our guy from Windmill,
Yep.
I just got notification that he's going to go to Sabre, Lebanon. I don't know if that's just a fun coincidence.
Hey.
Now,
But-
is he our guy from Windmill, or is he the guy from Windmill?
He's
I
the
think he's
guy.
more the guy from
He's
Windmill,
the
right?
guy.
I appreciate us wanting to, like,
So, or
take
I
it
don't
for
know
ourselves.
if we reminded him.
He's such a great beer rep for them.
Well,
I
he
love
needs to
them.
go. Awesome dude.
We would love to have anybody, if there's any brewers listening that want to show up, participate in an outdoor event. And I'll touch base a little bit later on how we're keeping it safe. But by all means, hit us up. Hit me up, Barton at IndianaUntapped.com, and we'll get you taken care of.
Speaking of which, though, before we start drinking, I'll go ahead and I'll name the beer. Tell everybody what we're going to be drinking. We can sample, but Barton, you were wanting to dive in a little bit on the next part of that too, so I'll say the beer and then get ready to do that.
Yeah.
This is Revision Brewing Company's New England Style Hazy Double IPA. I even said I was going to say the beer.
Yeah, he did. He
Twice.
did. He did.
At
Ben's got to have something for that.
At 8.1%, this is a fruit forward notes reminiscent of mango, passion fruit, pineapple, emerged from a boatload of Mosaic, Galaxy, and Samba hops. Hey, a New England with different hops!
There we go.
Give me
I
the
like
beers.
that.
They're mine. Floating on a smooth raft of malt and oak goodness, reminding us of being on a tropical paradisical, I never can say that word, I'll admit it, beach, paradisical? It's paradise, a coal.
That's a good
Paradise
I think
Sickle.
it's a made-up word.
I think that's
All right, good.
one. This is called
It's a
Paradise
word I
City.
can't say,
My little
so-
shout out to Guns N' Roses.
Shake off the couch sweats and grab some Quarantine Dreams. This is Quarantine Dreams. I couldn't read that, so I had no idea what that was the name of the beer.
That is some tricky artwork, isn't it? Nice
kind of fun
illustration.
artwork, though.
There's it kind of reminds me of like some
It's like Fear and Loathing on your couch.
comic book-ish type things, yeah. And where was this one from, Tyler?
Revision.
Revision Brewing
And they're-
out of Sparks, Nevada.
And if I could jump in real quick, because we got a few comments to catch up. We got Russell says great reference to the Young Frankenstein with the Abbey Normal.
Oh, yeah, not a problem.
Rissa.
Rissa from Risky Piercing.
Walk this way.
Nice.
Yeah, she said just hopping on. That T-shirt is beautiful.
Look at that red.
You guys
the
are the
red stands
best.
out.
Gorgeous.
And
Gorgeous.
then
Yeah.
Ben said Barton has never seen a movie that doesn't involve a stepmom.
I get it.
And he says,
Hey,
further,
Ben, how's your wife and my kids?
Youch! This one might be complimentary. He says, love it, guys. Hopefully we can all get together for a beer someday soon.
Who was that?
Ben again.
Oh.
Said he's got to jump off, take care of apparently Barton's two
Bart's
kids.
Yeah, I appreciate that. You're doing a great job, by the way. Doing a great job.
Barton, my door remains locked, so you know the drill. Stay in the driveway.
Thanks. I appreciate it, buddy. Thanks for leaving the light on.
Later,
for me.
bud. Jesus. All right, so, yes, go ahead, Bart.
Hey, yeah, so keeping events safe. Obviously, that's a tricky thing. How do you do that? Because events means you have to get out, and there's going to be a lot of people that get out as well. We had sent out a survey mid-COVID, like the first breakout, and we just were kind of trying to touch base with a few hundred people. We got 1,000 responses to this survey, and so anybody that got the survey, thank you so much. Like,
You're welcome.
We took all that data, and we created what we think is like this, and we probably won't ever go back. Like, these events that we're doing will change People that go to normal events, like you take your cup and then you hand it to somebody and they ask you what you want and they fill it up, they hand it back to you. So there's a lot of interaction there. Now it's all, we ask that our vendors put their beer into a pitcher, and then you walk up and you point and it just goes in. So there's no point of contact. You're keeping a safe distance. You stand in line, 6 feet spaced out. So there's no personal contact. We have like certain places where you can go hang out. Like we have tables that we set up that are spaced out 10 feet apart, so you can put your group in. And everybody does a great job about adhering to that, because it's all about who you're with and it's all about the other people that are there. I mean, we've always had such a great group of people that show up to our events. I personally have never had to ask anybody to leave because they've gotten too obnoxious, or we're making other people feel uncomfortable.
Matt.
I was like, he didn't see me then.
We do our best to make the check-in process easy, like keep your IDs in, and it's weird, you're checking people's IDs and you have to ask them to keep their mask on. It's like, okay, I'm sure that's you.
As long as I'm not like 3 foot tall with pigtails.
Yeah,
that's every time I go to a liquor store right now too. They're like, "Can I see your ID?" And I'm like, "Why?"
Yeah, does it really matter at this point? I mean, but like we love for people to come out, and if there is something, if you come to an event, or if you are worried about coming to an event, contact us. Ask us questions like, "Hey, I would come if like certain things were going on," and we'll let you know what it is we're doing to make it safe for you specifically, because you are a guest and we want everybody to be happy. But we also know that these events are important to people. They're important to the towns and the communities that they're in. And people just like to get out and try new things, and that at Untapped is our main goal. It's like, for example, like I had a Goza tonight that I hate those beers, but like I always tell myself I've not had every single one, so I'm always going to try them. I don't like imperial stouts either, and I'm looking over it, but at the same, and I don't like the barrel aged things.
Tyler.
But at the same time, I've not had them all, so I'm always going to try things, and that's what our events are about. Like I've seen so many people, they'll get a sample, they'll take a sip, and they'll dump it in the bushes behind them. That's fine. You're allowed to do that. So, but anyway, my point is, our events are very safe. We're doing everything we possibly can to make sure you have the best experience possible when you come to an event. And if you have any questions, or if you come to an event and you see that we're not doing something, let us know. Like, the communication is the biggest thing when it comes to events like this. If you see something that, oh, hey, that's not right, bring it to our attention. We're not going to take offense to it. Like, we want to hear what your concerns are, because we want everybody to have a good time. Back to you, Tyler.
That was very awesome.
I'm over here sad because I brought out the big guns on the beard for you today, and that's the styles you don't like.
But here's the thing: they are styles
He's never
I
had.
don't
He hasn't
like,
had every beer
because
yet.
I've not had every single one. I will always try something, and when you meet brewers, man, these guys. For people out there that think brewing beer is cool, it's a lot of work, man. Like it is grunt.
You gotta drink a whole bunch of beer while you're
Hard
watching someone that knows what he's doing. Yeah, we did it Saturday.
No, that's what we do when we homebrew. We
Oh,
watch somebody else do it, and we drink beer.
That's
So if
different.
somebody's gonna put forth that effort and they're gonna put it in a can or a bottle, I'm gonna try it. I'll let them know I'm probably not gonna like it, but I'm at least gonna try it because there's effort in there. And like I said, I haven't had every single one. So I am looking forward to these.
Don't screw this up. We can't have him counting later.
Well, I was just gonna say, either we're gonna shatter some worlds over there, or Barton's getting some really light pours in this hour or two, and we're just gonna see what he thinks, and then disperse the rest.
Okay, those things work.
Oh, he's getting light pours an hour or two, no matter what.
I have before gone to beer events that I have hosted, some that other people have done out of state, and I have taken a sip of beer and I have dumped it on the ground, and it's just like, oh my goodness, you owe me an apology. That was bad. But I don't know the story behind it, like maybe it was a bad batch and you took it to an event specifically to get rid of it to people who aren't gonna care.
I don't know what you're talking about. We've never done that.
On that topic, Michiana Beer says they miss all the events, and I can definitely attest. Having just the one last year, it was great to have the one that we did. I thought it was very well done. I felt very comfortable there until I don't remember being there. And then,
but do we have another one?
Yeah, and also like Winterfest especially is like one of my favorite ones, like the most forward to every year. I was kind of bummed that I didn't get to see that one happen, which I understand why, but that's always like one of the biggest ones I feel like.
This beer, we're going to move on to the beer itself. I like it. It's very unique. It is very different than the New Englands we've been having lately.
Yeah, there's a different hop note in there, which is nice.
It's nice.
Yeah.
Um,
Way to chime in. That was good.
soft,
That's what I do. I just emphasize words.
well carb, gives you a little tingle, a little bubble on there.
And you said this one came in at 8.1%.
That sounds
I
right.
mean, that's pretty solid.
Yeah.
It's a double IPA. It's a New England style hazy double IPA. Again, from Revision Brewings out of Nevada. I like it. It's definitely there's a flavor that I'm having troubles really pinpointing, and I think it's the pineapple. The way it comes out gives you just that unique touch compared to the New Englands we've been having recently. And
It's a very heavy beer for Nevada drinkers. You know, like, I would not want to sit outside on a hot Nevada day and suck down some of these things.
do
Just
people
to, like,
sit outside in Nevada? I thought
don't
they
know.
walked from one place to the other, and that was it.
I don't. Yeah, it could.
I thought
You
they did that.
don't even walk outside those
Yeah.
casinos.
Yeah, true.
That's gonna be just like driving air conditioning, get out, and then get back in. Like, I don't think there's any walking going on out there.
But no, I'm enjoying it. The can art's cool as hell.
Can art is great. I mean, I love the guys that do the old illustrations and stuff like that. Phenomenal artwork. I kind of like this devil penis thing going to the
shit.
the crow lady. Yeah.
I like the way
Very-
that he heard devil penis, then Tyler instantly leans in like, what?
Oh no, it's there for sure.
It's exactly what it is. Yeah.
Or like a devil umbilical. Oh, actually, no, that's his butt. So it's a tail, but either way, good artwork.
It's hit.
It's going. The artwork is going on the kegerator
water.
anyway.
Oh, I was thinking if it's Anchorage.
Oh, is that gonna make it on the kegerator?
Yeah, it's
Oh, I don't know, man. That's tattoo worthy. You can get that on your forearm. You know,
Right here,
that would
baby.
be
that would be
tattoo
pretty
worthy.
solid.
It's cool. That and the fact
That's some old school tattoo style too.
Oh
That'd be,
yeah, that's
that'd be fun. Oh, that is. Because he's floating like this. Yeah, that is his tail. Looked like. Yeah, I thought it was
Devil.
his
Yeah,
penis.
I mean, the artwork is really like if Rob Zombie wrote a children's book, like the illustrations he would have in it, and
That's accurate.
I really do enjoy it. The beer itself, it is good. As far as the hazies go, that's easily my favorite because I think the flavors are there.
It
Everything
stands
is
out a
meshed
little bit more.
together. Yeah.
I'm first to score this time. I am personally going to give it a 3.25. I think it's slightly above average. I'm going to give it a 3.5. I'm going to give it a 3.5 because those unique flavors I think deserves it because they came out doing something different and did it well. So that
absolutely.
alone gives it a
Absolutely.
bump. So I'm going to give it a 3.5. I really enjoyed it. It's not something I'm necessarily going to search for, but it's definitely in the above average. And if somebody told me, hey, I got this hazy in my fridge if you want a beer, and I open it up and I see this, I'm going to be a happy man.
Oh sure,
Yeah.
I agree.
So 3.5 for me. John, you're up.
I was going to go with your original score, the 3.25.
That's funny.
So I think it's fine. I do like the different flavor that it brings. It's not just a normal selection of hops in it, and I can tell it definitely stands out a little bit. I would be happy to drink that again.
I'm gonna go a little bit higher. I'm gonna go a little 3.75 on this one because
Easy math.
hazy IPAs they're beers that I really like, and that is by far one of the better ones I have ever had. And I think, as you said, like just the flavors, like all that stuff going on, hit really well. The color was perfect. It was a great hazy. It wasn't too cloudy. It just a really good beer. Really good finish to it. And I don't think I've had a craft beer from Nevada, so way to go.
Revision.
No, what's Nevada's nickname? The fuck you state? Like, what is that?
No, it's not. Oh, shit. I don't remember.
I mean, the University of Nevada is what the Running Rebels, but
Which doesn't make sense
No, it
to
didn't.
me. Yeah.
Ole Miss was the Running Rebels.
No, UNLV Rebels.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, come on. The coach that
Jerry
always threw the
Tarkanian?
Tarkanian,
Yeah, you're
that's
right.
the guy.
Yeah,
the
you're
shark.
right.
You're
the
young.
shark.
No, I know who
get it.
Tarkanian is. Thank you very much.
According to Google, it's known as the Battleborn State, Sagebrush State, or Silver State.
That's the one I was.
Silver
I know.
State is cooler. Let's just go with that.
That's the only one I've ever heard. The
Although
other
I
two
think
haven't
all
heard.
those are pretty dumb.
Sagebrush.
Good
State.
Yeah, the sagebrush. Good
Yeah,
job,
we're
sagebrush.
from
State.
the Sagebrush State.
It's like, oh, good for you.
what was the first one? Battleborn?
Sorry,
Yeah.
Missouri's is my favorite state to this day.
All right, I like Battleborn.
Isn't
I mean, that
there-
one
isn't
sounds
theirs
pretty badass, but,
Show Me State
I would
or
read
whatever?
that
I think
series.
they're the show me. Yeah. I think I think like the world's flashers convention happens in St. Louis every year. Just a bunch of
Wait,
dudes.
Missouri's is the Show Me State.
Oh!
Oh,
Time for the pet name of the week, boys.
Oh God, he has a fan who
I
gives him a pet name
spoke
of the
to
week
her on
every
Thursday
week.
too. It was a great time.
Russell Owens says, Liz says, hi to her Lil Cole. Ha! Lil Cole roasted spicy shawarma.
It's a weird combo, but okay.
Roasted spicy shawarma.
You're a cold roasted spicy shawarma?
Yeah, every
Yeah.
week he gets
Can
a
I keep
nickname.
calling you John though? Because that's tricky.
Not anymore. You can just call me shawarma.
Oh, shawarma's good. Yeah, I can call you shawarma. I'll remember shawarma.
Oh my god.
That's just a lot, right?
Yeah, it's amazing. I love it.
Usually once a week.
It's something. It's something.
That's not bad though. That's not bad.
God
But
dang
will
it,
you
Liz.
give him one? He really wants a pet name too.
I don't want a pet name. I'm good.
Yeah, you say that.
Can I call you
I
Rick?
see you.
Your eyes say you
Not
want
more
it.
Morty. I got a question for you though. So roughly how many events has Indiana Untapped done since you started it?
Oh, geez. Like, we do a lot, guys.
So I know it's absurd number now.
And we dialed it down a little bit. We have our big events. And I'll talk on those. So Anderson on Tap is a huge event, and the city of Anderson is so great. Like, they closed down like the downtown area, vendors, live music, just tons of stuff. Great event. Sells out every year. Normally around 1,000 plus. Last year we had to cap it around 700, but still a great event. Things are turning around in Anderson, kind of in that respect. They're trying to bring in more stuff downtown.
Absolutely.
And it looks better. Then Loggers in Lawrence, which you guys were mentioning that you went to. Mayor Collier does a great job there. We're thinking more and more, how it goes is turning it not to so much a beer tasting event, but a true Oktoberfest event. So we're just trying to figure out what that would look like. You pay a fee, and then we ask a handful of brewers to make a Helles or an Oktoberfest, and then you just get your Moss filled up and you have a good time. Getting away from the tasting a little bit, but local German-made beers. That's a possibility. Yes.
And that was the other
sure.
thing, that was a beer event that we were at that you did other fun things up on stage. You had the people holding their stein.
Oh, yeah.
and-
So German-style events are great, right? I mean, everybody knows the whole thing. So we do the parallel stein holding thing, which is a huge competition. Always has some kind of a controversy, people recorded on their phones, and one lady was insisting that her husband won, and all these. It's great that we do that. We bring in some German dancers to do German style dancing, and we encourage people to show up in their lederhosen and bring their Moss with them. And most people, I mean, if you've been to one of our events, yes, you get a tasting glass and you get it filled up as much as you want. But most of the time, if you bring a Moss, and you can get it, they'll put beer in it for you. We don't encourage that. But, at the same time, if that's what people want to do, and that's kind of what we're looking at with the Loggers in Lawrence, is just to turn it into a true Oktoberfest. Savor Lebanon's another one, great one. The City of Lebanon doing what they can. The Mayor Gentry, a great guy. He's 28 years old, and he's the mayor of a city. And he wants to bring these things in to town, because if you look at Westfield and Whitestown and Zionsville, he's kind of wanting to do a little bit of that. And he's doing a great job. It's a contracted event. We have it for another 4 years, which is great. We love bringing everybody together. Rushville, Indiana. So that's an interesting one. That's kind of way out the way a little bit. And Rushville's it's a tough town. A lot of things in Rushville are closed. They just got a brewery though, and that was what they wanted our event to do. They wanted to say, hey, we'll give you space for a brewery, and they have one in now. A beautiful event. It's in the shade. It's at one of their nice parks. Ample parking. Lots of great vendors. We get a lot of people from Cincinnati and the Kentucky area coming in to that event because of locale, because it's not. I mean, it's Indiana on tap, bringing Indiana beers, but everybody that brews for a reason, and people like to taste all those things. And then some small one-off events. Our tasting society, we have a marketplace which is for members only. Come in, 5 or 6 breweries and just kind of hang out. We'll bring in some random skateboarders or street dancer people. Oh, and another one I want to touch base on was.
You said dancers, not walkers. Right?
I know.
Yeah, I was trying to think
Is normally in February. Centerpoint, our lovely friends at Centerpoint hold Frigid Digits, and it is an outdoor beer event, and it is always cold. Comes with a beer luge, but it's such a great event. Again, it's kind of like a Savor Lebanon, to where people just want to get out, go drink some beer, have a good time. Well, this year's Frigid Digits is going to be in June, so it's going to be not so Frigid Digits. And again,
I like it.
This is something they're doing to kind of give people vaccinations, stuff like that, a little time to settle in. Do it in the summer. It'll be a one-off thing. It'll still be down at the Center Point Brewing Company. If you haven't been down there, those
Neat
guys
place.
are doing great things in like the little area that they do it in. All the little shops and mom and pop stuff that go on. They're doing a really good job, and phenomenal people. Center Point's have really just, when COVID hit, they were like one of the main people, like call distribution, pick up beer. They just did a great job. But that's Frigid Digits, phenomenal event. It's going to be in the dead of summer this year. So it'll be hot, so plan on that. But we love for people to come out to that. It's a great event, lots of good beer, as always. I just keep talking. And
I'm loving it.
Unless you guys tell me not to.
I'm just looking forward to when you're gonna have the sticky digits.
So-
When's that coming?
So our next beer is by Anchorage Brewing Company. This is
This
the
is
one.
what I'm looking forward
Yep,
to.
this is the one that Mr. Barton was looking forward to. This is the You'll Be Fine by Anchorage, and as always, they have the most gorgeous,
Wicked sweet can.
Phenomenal
my God.
artwork.
Their
Yeah.
artwork, and we have a couple more. I'll show you over there.
Yeah.
Oh, they're fantastic. This is a double dry hopped all Galaxy hops IPA at 6.4%, so it's a
Okay.
little lower. But it is our freshest, so I wanted to finish with it because this came recently. And on the bottom, they always put something. They always put either the beer name or something to go along. This one, they just put "You'll Be Fine." But man, I love it. They put the "You'll Be Fine."
Beautiful skulls, the cherry blossom leaves, a black can with like just the nice pink and white hits on it. Just as far as an art standpoint goes, it's just
I'm
very,
moving it all there.
very, very.
I didn't get it just in time for you when you started. Sorry, I didn't realize what you
Yeah,
were
you're
doing.
good.
Yeah.
I was making sure they got a little bit of all of it.
I personally am one of those guys. If I'm going to get like specific like local beer or craft beer, it comes down to what looks cool and what's their packaging.
John's a
look like.
label whore.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
John
understand.
is an absolute label.
Like if I see something and it happens to be an imperial stout and I know I don't want that, but if it's can or if it's bottle looks cool, that's what I'm buying because I
Yeah.
is what I do for a living. I appreciate that. Like that comes out and gets me in that can. Is hands down. It's simple. It's clean. It's smooth. It's sexy. Like I would.
Yeah, it is.
If you guys want to leave for a second, I'm gonna see what that can.
Hand
is.
check.
Camera will still be on, but
He's used to that. Because normally he has a couch.
Yeah. I mean, it's like a champagne room. Right?
also Krisha is chiming in. She says, a
What's up,
whole lot
Krisha,
of
man?
handsome going on in this episode.
Thank you.
Apparently Barton must be really up in the average.
Thanks, Krisha.
She also says, so happy to hear that. I have a love-hate with Frigid Digits, so
Oh, yeah.
she might be looking forward to
She
the...
goes, I think, almost every year because she's told me about it before.
I mean, if it's in June, I mean, it's almost going to be Sweaty Digits, so...
No, it's not so Frigid Digits. Come on.
Well, it was always nice, Krisha, last year, as I was dressed up as a Yeti, dancing around, making people feel comfortable. She would fill up my mug with whatever fully leaded flavor that Deviate had that she was getting out, and it was enough to keep me warm for the good 3 hours, and
Nice.
made me forget about it. So, Krisha, always a pleasure.
Also, real quick,
She's good
Russell,
people.
have a great show, bud. We know you're leaving soon.
Oh, yeah.
So, this beer, it's interesting.
You know, I'm
All
not gonna,
Galaxy hops, right?
not gonna lie, the can is better than the beer.
Yeah.
The beer is not bad, but if it was not in that can, I probably wouldn't buy it.
This is not as good as some of the others we've had by then.
Yeah, no, I'm a little let down in
Yeah.
this execution. From normally, Anchorage is almost always on point.
Yeah.
Not that
And it's not bad.
Like I said, not that it's bad. Just this
Like, I'm
isn't.
not going to slam it.
this
in my
isn't up to
scores,
their
but
standard.
So what style is this? I mean, I know it's like all Galaxy, but
It's a double dry hopped all Galaxy
Okay.
IPA.
yeah.
I just feel like that they've set themselves up to a higher standard that we started to expect that they aren't quite reaching. Not that this is bad, it's just not what we expect from them.
Art on this can was done by Massive Face.
Oh, okay. So thank you, Massive Face, for making some good artwork.
Yeah.
See, I was gonna say I
Say it's
do
worth a
like
Google.
I do like kind of the malty sort of background that it has. It's not overly malty, but it just does pair well with the Galaxy. But are you guys just missing the blend of different hops?
Oh yeah, it's absolutely. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong. I love the fact that it comes in at a 6.4. That's great because you can drink more than one of them. But it is almost just like a de facto. This is a beer. It's almost like a standardish. And if that's what they're going for, then great.
I'm also, like, I'm not getting as much of the Galaxy hop flavor as I'm used to
Okay.
in an all Galaxy hop either.
Yeah.
So it's not so much the blend, it's if you're going to just use Galaxy, you have to use enough that I get that flavor a little more.
Oh, absolutely. 100%.
It's a great flavor. Galaxy Ops are one of my favorites. So if you're going to use them and that's all that's going to be in there, you're going to have to put a little more in and give me that Galaxy flavor. Otherwise, I think you phoned it in a little bit. Galaxy Ops are expensive. I can't imagine how expensive they are to get for Anchorage Brewing.
Yeah,
in
you got
Alaska.
to think. I mean, just get them up there for sure. Yeah.
So
maybe they didn't use as much as they
do when they use their other IPAs.
Yeah.
I will say this though. I think this would be a badass tattoo.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Grace Enstrom, if you're listening, you should be. You should start doing these things. You should.
Grace actually she's made our logo. She's the one that made our logo, the Two Beerded Guys logo. She's in the process, people, of making an off-screen Matt logo. She actually texted me today and said she was starting on it after work tonight. So it's going to have an off-screen Matt logo as well. We'll have stickers for that and a shirt for him in the future. So that'll be fun. We're switching up our merch. We're not going to fully announce yet because we don't know yet. We have to finish kind of figuring out exactly what we're going to do, but we're switching up how we do our merch to make it easier, make it some of it cheaper, all that kind of stuff. So we're excited to really dive into that. So look for that in the next month or so for an announcement.
So you're like switching sweatshops then? I mean, you're going up to Malaysia? Hey, it's smart. Though,
we were
right?
in Mexico. Now I'm sending it to Malaysia.
Oh, yeah. And then just have them swimming across the ocean.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, there's no sense in putting it on a boat.
No.
It's going to drop your cost way down.
They're just going to stick it on a raft and paddle. But you know.
Oh, you're going to get him a raft?
Yeah,
Oh, well,
It's going to take your expenses up.
Raft's a generous term for what it is.
Okay.
It's a old door from the Titanic.
Oh, you know,
Because that worked out real well.
with all the breweries kind of like closing, and I'll touch base on some of those. Like, they're old kegs. You put a piece of wood on them, you just float.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
You can get those for free.
Yeah. That
Don't
works.
go buying things for these people yet. Come on. By the way, nobody on this show supports
any of that.
Yeah, exactly.
How about you say that and the two people that have the show aren't
No,
saying
I
anything?
said it.
No, I
was like, I gotta make a phone call.
I'm just assuming that way. Like,
John's over here going, we need to cancel ours.
it's like, man, Justin, if you're listening, if you can send me the contract, the things I'm not allowed to say, that'd be great. There's 4 beers left, and they look really dark, and this is gonna go downhill.
Yes.
Some comments while you guys are gathering. Russell did officially check out, said he's got to bounce. Have a good one. In case you're still on, sir, same to you. Again, good luck with the show. Christian Max says, love you. I guess that's a response to one handsome guest over there. And Carrie Shepard, that's a guest.
Oh, damn.
And handsome.
Yeah, I mean, clearly it was about me.
Yeah, that was your 3 strikes, Tyler.
I am a damn good-looking man, thank you.
We got Carrie Shepard on. First time she's spoken up. She's actually one of my coworkers. What's up, Carrie? She said I'm getting my own merch. Apparently,
Hey,
I finally matter. I know I don't count, but I still matter.
Yeah, you've always mattered.
And
Except for Kelly.
a year later, I almost matter enough for merch.
When Kelly Raver was on the show, so we always make fun of Matt for not counting, right? Because the score doesn't count. Kelly
Should have gone one step further.
Kelly straight up was like, Matt, you don't matter. And we're like,
Yeah.
oh!
Yeah, she got really dark, real quick.
We're like, Kelly, he matters. Doesn't count, but matter.
He's doing the stuff. If he doesn't do the stuff, who does the stuff?
He's not pushing a
He
single
has
button.
not hit a single button.
I know. Well, there's been a lot of talk. I haven't had a whole lot of time to interject anything. Like, it's just good conversation, man. Let it flow.
Once Ben figures out my kids don't love him, he'll be back.
All right, so the scores on this beer, like we said,
There you go.
You want some sound effects?
not as much Galaxy flavor as I personally would like. Just kind of, for me, a little phoned it in. John's going to be our first score.
Yeah, and I feel like I'll be probably slightly higher than you guys. I'm not going to give it an outstanding score, but I really enjoyed it. It worked for me. Now I'm going to go 3.5.
Oh wow, that's much higher than I
told you it was probably going to be higher than what you guys were.
So
that's fine. Do what you were going to do.
Oh no, I'm gonna still do what I'm gonna do, Schwartz.
It's Barton.
Shawarma. Sorry.
Well, no, I mean, Schwarma's your official nickname, but Schwarms are for the people that actually know you. You know, like the people that are cool.
Well, he said Schwartz.
Yeah, I was just calling him.
Like, use the Schwartz Lone Star.
I thought it was Schwarms. Like, I took Schwarma and abbreviated because Schwarma, that's too wordy for me.
I'm just gonna call you Keith from now on. That's make it easier for everybody.
I've never been called a Keith. This is interesting.
One thing I do like about this beer is it's 6.4% alcohol. Very drinkable. I just don't think that's related on anything it says that's in the can. artwork aside, great beer. I don't think that what I drank is what the can says it's supposed to be. So I have to drop that a little bit. I do like less alcohol in a craft beer. I've always wanted a craft.
Strap in for hour 2.
And I know a couple brewers that have flirted around with like a 3.5% like craft beer, which is very good. I do like the low alcohol content. I think it's a delicious beer, and I would drink several of them. But if I'm going off the selling point of it, which is what it's supposed to taste like, I didn't get that.
Sure.
And I got to go maybe just a solid 2.
What?
I'm much lower than John, but much higher than Barton. I'm going to go 275, which is going to be the average.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of those today.
Hey, you're making easy math for yourself over there is what you're doing.
I don't even do the math. That's his job. You'd think I want to make it easy for him. But I think it's slightly below a 3 just because if it's an all Galaxy hops and I'm lacking Galaxy hops,
That's the thing, I think,
it
for
can't
me.
be average.
Yeah, I think that was the thing for me.
It was still drinkable, still solid, but it just really... I'm a huge Galaxy hop fan, and it just didn't come through for me. So it's going to be below average. It's going to average out to a 275. So not an awful score. Definitely, if somebody handed me one, I'd drink it.
Yeah.
If I saw it at Beer Fest, I wouldn't say no.
And I wouldn't be at all upset with maybe like reaching out to the Anchorage Brewing Company and say, hey, you know, we tried some of your You'll Be Fine. Tell us about the beer. Like, what were you trying to create when you created this beer? And there's a good chance they hit it on the head. Like, they were using less amount of Galaxy hops just to kind of get the alcohol content down a little bit to make a more quaffable, like, long-lasting beer.
Oh, quaffable.
And in which case, then they did a great job. But I just didn't get it as far as, like you said, the Galaxy hops. Yeah. The notes just weren't there for me.
I do love that art.
But the art is great. I mean,
Yeah.
That'd be a badass tattoo.
I mean, maybe the name though, You'll Be Fine. Like maybe that's the point of like, drink this, you'll be fine.
You'll be fine.
well, they can like change it to YULE and like adds like some coriander to it and like make a holiday beer out of it if they wanted to. If they do that, I'm going to sue them. My idea. No, Anchorage Brewing Company. I would look forward to trying some other things from these guys. You guys seem to have a lot of good things to say about it. So
Yeah, absolutely. We've lucked out and got some really good beers from them over the course of the years. So that one didn't live up to our expectations, but
Matt,
again,
you don't
was
count.
not bad.
But what would you say?
I think the 275 is pretty square score on it. I'd almost say a 3 because it's an average beer, but at the same point, kind of what I've come to expect out of Anchorage and the stuff I've had with Galaxy. I remember being just a little more flavorful. Like they're a little victim of their own success with us here.
Are you saying something about Alaskans in general there? Is
No,
there
I
something you
mean,
want to talk about?
No, Anchorage Brewery is just set such a high bar for itself that when we have one that's like, oh well, it's an average beer, but for Anchorage, that kind of means like.
So what's Alaska? Is that like the frontier state or something like that?
you're making Matt.
You're making me work, man. I told you today's an off day.
Oh, I'm curious.
I think it's the frontier state. That sounds right. Actually, that
It
sounds right.
should be, if not.
Should be the coldest shit state.
Oh, that could be, yeah.
Couldn't that also be Minnesota?
The dark state.
Or North Dakota.
The last frontier.
The last, okay, yeah.
That's
space.
That's space.
So that's the
That's
final
frontier.
Oh, damn it.
Check your nerd at the door, John.
I don't watch Star Trek. Star Trek.
Okay, Final Frontier was the 12th album by Iron Maiden, and everybody knows that.
Gotta love the buttons.
But we'll move on.
So, guys, that is the end of hour number 1. We've had 4.
Oh, so I can go potty?
Yes, actually.
No,
We've had 4 beers. Kind of middle of the road to start off. We're hoping to come out swinging a little more in the back half. But thank you guys for watching. We'll take like a 2 to 5 minute break, depending on how long it takes Barton to potty.
By potty, I mean angel dust.
Oh, in that case, break time.
Everybody's got to.
We're good. Thanks for listening. We'll be right back. I'm TBG_OpsGuy.
But B&Q.
Our guest today is
Barton Lewis, Indian on tap.
and behind the camera.
I'll scream Matt.
Thanks for listening. We'll be right back.
John and off-screen man, big bushy beards and awesome hats. Two bearded guys. Oh yes they are 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 two bearded guys. Two bearded guys. Two bearded guys.
What's up, guys? That was our Hour 2 theme song by Tommy Icarus. Yes, we are a show with 2 theme songs. We are very lucky.
Man, that's
Hour 2, where the beer gets darker and so does the theme song.
Damn straight.
Hells yes.
Or heavier.
We have a light, happy theme song at the beginning for the lighter beers, and then for
I
the
will
heavier
not say
things.
Matt's life doesn't matter though.
Kelly.
That's yeah. Make a charcuterie board, lady. And by the way, if you know who she is, she makes the best charcuterie
Yeah, she
boards
fucking
in the
does.
world. So, like, that was not so much a slam. It was more like
A backhanded
a
compliment.
way of being a jerk and funny and endearing at the same time.
And also, he would love for you to bring him a charcuterie
If you
board.
brought a charcuterie board over, or just some angel dust and pecans, that would be good too.
And the pecans are also important, though.
Yeah.
Apparently some comments that have either been on while we're on break or just meow. Valerie Tridwell's Atwell's on. What's up, Val?
What up, Val?
Good seeing you this weekend. We got some laughy faces with the tears. And then EB Hunter says Kit Kat break. Like, that's actually the first anyone said that yet. It's kind of surprised
Because
that
we're not
hasn't,
sponsored by them, we could get sued, so you know.
kind of surprised that hasn't happened yet, though.
I could eat a Kit Kat.
Seems pretty on the nose.
Well, the Indian Untapped legal department should take care of everything.
Yay!
Woo!
It's a dog. His name's Wrigley, but he does a good job. He's also our HR department. So
Is he a pretty aggressive negotiator? Or what?
you know what? He's a listener.
So he doesn't go in these meetings just chew someone's arm off. He's saying.
We haven't trained him to do that yet, and that's
Yet.
wrong. Yes.
Yet.
I say yet was the qualifying word here.
But no, we don't condone that kind of stuff either.
We don't chew
Ooh.
people's arms off. We hack them off
So,
like normal people.
damn straight. So this beer
Just
is
don't whack
the
them off.
Decennial 4, The Last Guardian by River North, 15.1%. It is a modest Abbey-style golden. It used to be their Beer de Garde.
Let me see this thing.
But they changed up the recipe a little bit, so it's not a traditional Beer de Garde anymore, so they sure as hell weren't going to call it that, because they do things the right way.
Why don't you tell them how much alcohol's in this guy, Tyler?
I just did, 15.1%.
Did anybody listen to that, though?
I heard it.
Everybody here but you.
It only goes up from here.
Not true. This one's
Actually, I think
lower.
it kind of coasts pretty similar.
Yeah, this one's lower, I know that. But yeah, no, I'm excited. I had this on tap at the brewery, and it was very good.
Aged up to 1 decade.
Yeah, they say their beers can be aged up to a decade.
Oh, me.
Yeah.
Ain't that something?
So I thought this one might be deserving of the patented smaller
Well,
swirl.
all beers are worthy of the patented smaller swirl.
More particular, I think we're getting to, I don't know, something like, which I'm curious to see this, the River North stuff we've had, I very much enjoyed, but I'm not too versed in the whole golden strong ale category here. Oh,
He's still reading.
oh,
No, you're good. No,
Ah.
you make it
Oh,
for
it's-
the
and,
people watching.
and Carrie says
They'll wait.
15.1, I need this in my life.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, Carrie, you're kind of missing out on this one. Sorry, bud. We didn't save this one for you.
Wrong Carrie, this is my coworker Carrie. This is
okay.
she Carrie.
She, this is the actual she.
This is a she Carrie, not he Carrie. That's all gonna get more confusing from here.
I really want to know what he wants to say. And he goes first in this one.
Yeah, he
go
does. When
first?
score. Well, when
We're
scoring.
gonna give some,
Oh.
We're still
not scoring
talking
it.
about it. Yep.
That is pretty good. Like, it's like sweet and
bottle,
fatty.
It's not nearly as boozy as you'd expect,
No,
For-
not
no, that's-
even
but you know it's
close.
there.
That is an
But-
easy 15%.
But the smoothness,
Easy.
like this is, I would say this would belong on the DUI shelf.
I would concur.
Concur.
So for those of you that haven't heard us talk about it much, because we haven't had many beers lately that belonged on the DUI shelf,
true,
it is the Ugly Pete DUI shelf.
Brought to you by Water Performance Technology, LLC.
Damn straight. One of our show sponsors. But it is it's a beer that you know drinking it, like you looked at the bottle, you know it's a high ABV. But when you drink it, you have no idea it's a high ABV. AKA, it's one of those that if somebody just handed you a glass
Yeah.
Yeah, and you
And
finish
goes,
it real
"Here's a
quick.
beer,"
Damn,
and
that
you
was
drink
good. I
it?
need another.
You drink it and get another one, not realizing how high a
This
beer it is.
drinks like maybe 8. Like
Yeah.
this is a really soft 15.
Yeah, I would put this on the same level as like our IPAs we were drinking on the alcohol scale. And,
Which were at 8s.
yeah, and it's
roughly
coming out
average,
as a 15.1.
Yeah,
Oh.
I think that's I think the guy that we're not supposed to talk to, which is Matt, hit it on the head, man. Like it does not taste 15.1 by
No.
any means. That's dangerous.
Sweet.
Very
Yeah,
sweet.
very
Yeah,
sweet.
it's
Very gummy,
sweet,
little
almost,
malty.
almost a little
Yep.
honeyish bit on
Yep.
the tongue for
Yep.
sure.
Ooh, yeah.
Reminds you a little bit of mead with that honey.
Yeah,
I was just gonna say like not quite mead sweet,
Yeah.
but not far off like that honey sweetness.
very close. Yeah,
Yeah.
like again, Abby's are fine. Like it's just when you add all the alcohol to it. Like I guess my thing is I like to drink beer. You know, I like to drink
Us
as
too.
much of it as possible, and you can't drink a lot of this. You could.
Yeah,
Oh, you could.
Talk for yourself.
I know I
Tell me
could.
what to do. We are professionals.
But all the finishes of it are great. It's so smooth.
So smooth.
Like it's almost like an after dinner cocktail. It's got like this like cognac-ish thing going
Ooh,
on to it.
yes.
Um,
On the
I'm
nose.
actually enjoying it more now than I did at the brewery.
Has this one been aged longer?
No, it's the same batch.
Okay.
It's the 2020 vintage.
Okay.
The color is perfect. It's this great
Yeah, it's
golden like honey
clear.
color.
I find it interesting. There's almost zero carbonation with this, and I'm perfectly fine with
That
it.
doesn't
Just
surprise me with the style.
A little bit. I mean, this is good.
Yeah, this is just an
very good
interesting
beer.
beer that's not a style I've had much of, but this seems like a prime example of what it should be.
So just a reminder, River North is out of Denver, Colorado. They have 2 tap rooms, one on Washington Street, one on... Damn, I drew a blank. That was good, though. I actually...
I was going to go to that one too.
Just
God
name-
damn it,
just name-
Tyler.
Just name another.
They're
president.
all like... It's something with B. But they're like 5 minutes from each
Buchanan.
other, is what's funny.
Yeah, it's
Trump
Bu-
Street.
Buchanan Street.
When
Hey,
you're-
keep it clean, boy.
When you're driving around Denver, it's hilarious. You can get from the suburbs to downtown and around in like 15 minutes.
I really thought
In
you
a
were going to
massive
things
city?
to do in Denver when you're dead type montage there, but which would have been all right.
But I love you. But I was able to get there. Right now, so Denver's not allowing drinking in restaurants, eating in restaurants, anything like that. Everything has to be outside, and everybody's getting real curious. So like River North, they know Denver gets cold in the winter, right? So they have some heaters set up outside, but they still can't keep it warm. So anytime the temperature drops below 30, they have their ice fishing days. You show up, and if you don't already have a card, which I do in my wallet, wherever my wallet is, you go in and they check it off. Every beer you buy, and after your 8th beer, you get to take a 4-pack home. Or 10th beer, you get a 4-pack home.
That's dope.
It rolls
That's-
over, so you don't have to drink them each time. So
Speaking
like,
of Colorado, dope's a good point.
yeah. So like, I met 2 different guys, and they're like, yeah, this is like my 5th card in 3 weeks. Because they're like, we just keep coming back, because we're drinking a lot, but we were already going to come drink. So now we purposely wait till it's 30 degrees, go drink for ice fishing days, and get to take beer home.
It's a good promo though, because if you think people don't want to get out when it's that cold, so if you give people a reason to come out, then
it was
it's
genius.
really just a great idea to hey, come out, drink beer. The amount of beer they give away is probably a fraction of the amount of stuff they bring
absolutely.
in. So good job, Colorado.
They cracked me up. Other
that all
restaurants,
Colorado or
no,
just
that
River
was
North?
just here.
Okay.
Other restaurants and stuff had set up like those outdoor,
igloo.
basically where you're drinking inside, but it's outside, so it
Yeah.
follows state law. Where it's like a full tent. And you're
Swear
like,
to God, state law.
okay, we're still together in a tent, but whatever.
The Indiana homebrew law is pretty dumb, and I can touch base on that after a bit as well. But I know what you're saying.
There's so many dumb laws, and that's just one of them.
How you still have your left, Tyler?
I was
I
taking
wanted
it
to
very
savor
slow.
that. That
yeah,
was so
that
good.
was tasty
I
as
just
hell.
wanna take it.
But yeah, so River North, great place. Check it out if you're in Denver. They don't do just stouts.
Well, I'm going to
Mark
say,
is
so
first.
it's up to me to vote on this guy. Again, a beer that I would never, ever go buy. For 2 reasons. One, it has like the wax covered cap thing, which I just think is dumb.
It helps with aging. It keeps
And
air from
I completely 100% understand why it's there. I just am not a fan.
He
But-
doesn't age beer. He's like, when I buy beer, I drink it. I don't age it.
Yeah. That being said, the beer itself was really, really good. Again, it's not something you want to go. I'm sure they probably sell the individuals, but
Yeah, you can buy the bottle.
at 15.1%, it does not taste that way. I think we touched base on that. Phenomenal beer though, little sweet, had the honeyish bit to it. Like, I think Tyler pointed out it had a meaty-ish finish as well. I think this so far is the best beer I've had here today. So I'm going to put this in a very high 3.75 range. One, color was perfect. It looked like something I wanted to drink. It smelled phenomenal. The taste was smooth. Great finish. Like, all the hits were there. And it packs that 15.1 punch without really saying, hey, I'm 15.1. So 3.75, great beer. I don't know where you would find it here in the Hoosier State, if it's even available at all.
You can always find River North whenever they do it through Tabor. Tabor app does a lot of River North. But other than that, that's the only way you can get it currently. But, there's cheap flights right now. Head out to Denver.
No, absolutely. If you are in the Denver area or going to the Denver area for a handful of reasons, just to toke up, stop by this place. Very, very good beer. 3.75, stand by it. Delicious beer.
So, Barton hit all the things I was going to say, except the score, which I'm going to come out with a home run, and it's a 5 to me. It's one of the best beers we've had on the show, in my opinion. I think it's extremely balanced, sweet without being too sweet. The color is what every brewer would aim for with that kind of beer.
Gorgeous.
That was a sexy, sexy beer color.
It's like looking into Shea Daly's eyes, man. Just,
damn straight.
just want to rub my fingers.
Butterfly!
ABV without being like, boozy. You get both, so if you're an ABV whore like Off-Screen Matt, who the higher the ABV, the happier Matt is. It's one of those where even if you're him and you bought it for that, it also has the drinkability factor if you wanted it to be.
I agree.
It's one of my top beers I've ever had on the show, which out of 450, we've had 4 consensus 5s, where the 3-panel judge gave it 1. Today will not be one of those. But it is a 5 in my book, so I'm going to give it that. Go ahead, John.
Good.
Yeah, so I guess my question for Barton here is, I know that you're not a guy who seeks these types of beers out.
Oh, absolutely not.
Okay. But if for whatever reason it came upon you, were like, you know what? I really want one of these barrel-aged, high ABV sort of beers. Would you seek that specific one out?
That is a phenomenal point, and the answer is 100% yes. I think a lot of people...
We didn't give the caveat earlier, did we?
I think a lot of people I know, and a lot of the barrel-aged stuff, and I try it everywhere I go. Quick aside, like I went down to Asheville, North Carolina, over the holiday. We went to Wicked Weed's spinoff, which is like this Funka something, and every beer down there is barrel-aged. And I tried them knowing I wasn't going to like them, and I was right. I did, but they weren't bad. They just weren't something I would enjoy. That is something I definitely enjoyed.
The reason John asked is because when I went over the scoring, we do have the caveat, even if it's not a beer you normally would seek out by style, if it's one of those where, man, I really want a barrel-aged Belgian for some reason. If you would seek it out because that's the one you would seek out, then that hits the 4 territories. What John was going
So, okay...
I see what he's baiting you into doing. And
I'm not asking to change it. I just want him.
I was
He
just
did say
warning him.
375 sticking to it, so...
What Schwarm is saying, and I think I said this
I
before.
wish you would have said Keith. I really do.
So if I'm allowed to backtrack, I will.
If
Going
you'd
back
like.
to the very first beer that we did was the Ghost, which I absolutely do not like them. However, it was hands down the best one I had. And would I get that again? Yes. So... That being said, I do think my 3.75 vote was based off the fact that it is a beer that I would not normally get. Now, when you pointed the question out, like if it came down to these barrel-aged things, which one would you get? The ones that, and I'm talking about like that Bourbon County thing that comes out every year, and all the variants and stuff like that, and like the Dark Lords and stuff, which I've had. I've always tried them. I would go to that one right away. So, in my opinion, that is the best barrel-aged beer I have ever had. Period. So, yes, if he's wanting to get my 3.75 up a little bit, I would take it to a 4.33 repeating before I go storming the castle.
So a 4.
4 and a quarter.
4 and a quarter is what I heard.
Why can't I go like 4.33 repeating?
Because it's in quarter increments.
Because you guys can't do math?
No, because Untapped, we either have to pay if we want 0.1 scale, or their normal scale is in 0.25.
Yeah.
So since we put our scores on Untapped, we do everything on Untapped scale.
I feel pressured.
I mean, yeah, John just strong armed you into raising your score.
I'll leave it at the 375.
He wants to change it. Let him change it.
You can't meet in the middle and call it a 4.
I think John asked
such
a
a bully.
really good question. Like when it comes to barrel age things, yes. However, I'm looking over at what's remaining right now, and I know that there.
It's this beer this time, though.
I'll give it a 4.25. It was. He had a gun.
I love how John straight up.
I'm like,
Listeners,
let the record show John's hands are above the table, but his love gun is pointed right at him.
no, he told Ben Barrett to start
I got a
my
hate
kids.
boner right now.
We weren't supposed to tell him that's what we were going to do. We weren't going to tell him that we were telling Ben to starve his kids. It's fine.
Well, he pays their insurance money.
Jonathan, your score.
So, I wanted to point that out because that 4.0 is that level where we start to like, hey, I'm going to seek this out if I'm going for that style of beer, or I'm going to seek it out in general. And then when we get that 4.5 or higher, it really becomes very personal preference. And for me, this is a tremendously fantastic beer. Normally, I try to reserve those perfect 5s for those Russian Imperial stouts that are my absolute favorite style. However, this is going to be a 5 as well.
Holy shit, you and I agree on something?
This is fantastic.
Wow.
I absolutely love this
It's very
beer.
rare for John and I to agree.
Well, I can see that because he's strong-armed me.
John gets passionate every now and again.
So a 4.75, I mean, that's not bad.
Comes out to a 4.75 average. Either way.
I just didn't want Matt to count. And he almost had to count.
Nah, I was going with it no matter what. That was an extremely tasty beer. It was unique.
It was, and now I'm here. It's either the Angel Dust or the 15.1 that's hitting me. It's like wow.
Maybe the lay little B.
But I think
Look up the ABV on this one, John, would you?
if you would have poured that, John, if you would have poured that into a glass and like served it to me in like a rocks glass, and said, hey, like, this is like an off-brand like cognac or a small batch bourbon from someplace, and I would have taken some drinks. So I was like, wow. That's really, really good. Like, we should drink that some more. I think the fact that it was bottled and sold to me as a beer, those are the things that kind of get me a little bit. Because, like, when I was in college, they always said, oh, don't mix whiskey and beer. That's the dumbest thing you can do. And now they make it for you.
Now they
that
make
way.
it for you. Yeah. They do. You're not wrong.
It's not that you can't mix it, you just got to have your whiskey first.
So for people at home,
Is it barrel aged?
he is pouring 10W30 oil into glasses.
Barrel
for
aged
us right
Imperial.
now.
That's more 5W30.
13.6.
Thank you. All right, our next beer is the Peanut Butter Cup Shadowproof at 13.6 ABV from Sun King Brewery. That's yours.
Can I say before we move on to this, like, I know my opinion doesn't count, but
Oh, yeah, please give us your score.
just because that is River North
How
and that
come
was
you guys
so
have some
You
delicious.
said to lower the pours for Imperials.
I didn't mean to take. Nobody takes me seriously.
Unless it comes with, that's out of mine.
You have electronics.
I hope you're happy, Barton.
You can stub your toe
Damn
on
it.
the keyboard.
Mine was the lowest. Out of the three of ours, mine was the lowest. So
What were your thoughts on that one, Matt?
I was gonna say like for me that was delicious. It was smooth. It was potent, but didn't drink like it. It was unique, even with the gold nails. It's not something I've had that much of. Like I don't know, Golden Drox Quad, which isn't the same thing. That's like the closest thing I can think of off the top of my head that I've had is in that, I don't know, range of maybe beerdom.
the Golden Strong we had, that was a 15-something percenter that we accidentally had second on the show once.
Oh yeah, that was really good too. So
I've learned to read ABVs closer on Goldens.
Yeah.
that was a fun episode. But yeah, so I've only had a couple of these in that realm, but River North did not fail to show up on this one either. I think for me, it's not quite, but just because of sake of style, like we said, the 4.5 above is where it gets a lot more personal taste. 4.75 is where I'd go, just because I'm that much more stout than what this is. This is really good. Like if it had been anything more in that stout range, this would have been an easy 5. Just I would drink stouts over this personally. Only reason not a 5.
Probably because you can drink more than one stout. Like
You clearly haven't drank our stouts.
Yeah, you gotta wait till we get through the rest of these.
This is 13.
This is the lowest of them that we have, right?
Yeah, this is the lowest of the 3 stouts, I think.
Now,
this actually smells like.
Nope, it's even with. It's actually higher than this one.
okay.
This actually
Like
smells like the
0.1.
can says it's supposed to.
0.6.
So,
Ah,
a couple quick notes because we did get we brewed with Kevin on Saturday, so we got some insight to some Sun King stuff, and we had the chocolate orange Shadowproof a couple episodes ago, and
It
it
was
was
so
trash.
universally panned.
And what's funny about that is Kevin's like, so I saw you guys had the chocolate orange.
Well, actually, he asked, like, so did you guys have that chocolate orange? So I'm assuming he knew.
Oh, he knew.
He knew. And it turns out we weren't wrong. It was trash.
So what we said when we drank it, because their brewers, especially for this series at Sun King, they always try to use as close to real ingredients as humanly possible. Less extract, stuff like that. Especially for this series. Anything that comes in that style of can for Sun King is always done more with real ingredients. We drank it and we're like, we had it before the year previous. The year previous is
really
version
good.
of it. We're like, man, it was so good that year. We have it on the show the second time. It was trash. We're like, man, it just tastes like an extract. It tastes like they phoned it in, fake ingredients, all that shit. We're like, but that can't be right. But we're like, man, that's what we're tasting.
I even blamed, yeah.
So he blamed one of the assistant brewers because John knows him personally and just likes to do that. And we move
wrong with
on.
that.
So then we're
If
talking.
you can blame somebody personally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're talking to the quality guy at Sun King Saturday, and he straight up, when he brought it up, he's like, what'd you think? And before we could even say, he's like, yeah, it was trash, wasn't it? We're like, oh. And he goes, yeah, it was pushed to last minute, and they used...
He forgot about
It was time crunch situation.
the brewer forgot about this variant. And so by the time he remembered, basically the only time they had, only thing they had time for was the extract. So we were
And orange extract comes out,
right. Yeah.
it just dominates everything.
So to clarify, that's a prior beer, not the beer that we're drinking
this
now.
beer,
This
I'm
is
excited
the
for.
Peanut butter cup shadow.
Because he
brew.
said this
Peanut
one.
butter.
It says
Actually,
cup.
it is chocolate.
Does it?
Yeah.
Oh, peanut butter cup.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking
So-
right at it.
And we were told that this one was really, really good.
And it smells that way. Like here's my thing.
Yeah.
Before I even take a big swill of it, my thing with like peanut butter beers is they are so dry and they finish like leaving this dry taste in your mouth.
They almost come out as roasted peanuts instead of peanut butter.
Almost exactly that.
Yeah, it seems it's weird, like because they're so close but not quite there.
And this
that
is just
peanut
me
versus peanut
basing off
butter.
of every peanut butter style that I've ever tried. Kind of like being that way.
I can tell you right now, I'm not getting the roasted peanut this time.
Good.
Nearly
No.
as much. There's a little bit of hint of roasted, but not nearly as much.
Hinto roast.
Hint of roast. A little more creamy on this one. You're getting the chocolate.
Yeah.
Chocolate's there.
You're not getting that like literally roasted peanut flavor nearly as much, which always leaves that dry on the tongue.
And it's always just kind of seems that way. Like it tastes like you're walking through a peanut roasting plant, and it just dries out your face, and there's no other flavors that come through. This actually
What
has
he's
a
not
lot
telling you
of
is he
them.
actually is allergic to peanuts, and no. In a minute we're gonna see his face go.
Oh man, like if I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die.
Nothing the angel does.
Something to tell us before we pour it in the beer.
The color on for people that can't see it, it is thick. There's
What
no
do we say?
doubt about that.
Is that a 48? What was that? I forget what he said.
Dude, I ain't getting into the color scale.
I went 10W30 on that one, but I heard a 50 on the other end.
I said 5W30.
Five-
10's a lot thicker.
Little viscous holds onto the sides decently, but not awful.
This is a well-crafted beer.
It's not safe. And from the boys at Sun King, they know what they're doing. I mean,
Oh yeah, they do. That's why it shocked us so much with that chocolate orange.
Yeah.
well, they all can't be winners. I mean, look at Bud Dry.
I was really thinking like Listerman Pride, but yeah, he went the Bud family.
Hey, you know what's good though? Bud Light Orange. I'll drink that every summer.
Yeah, Bud Light Orange.
Gay things Tyler
That is
says
good.
on the air.
You disagree? Hey, that
And
shit's
John.
good.
Much better than the Bud Light Lemon and the Bud Light Lime.
Oh, the Bud Light Lime's trash.
Yeah.
This is actually really good. Again,
I where he stated it like a question.
again though,
This is really good.
it's not something I would get for the sole purposes I can't drink many of them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, if I had some friends over, crank one out every now and then, have a finishing drink. But
Does
like,
that mean
it
something
is
else?
it is just so much.
Yeah, hand check. He's got a hand down, by the
It
way.
is just so.
He has the whole episode.
Yeah.
And even when it comes
Yes,
up,
he
the
has.
other
and, then, and then literally he just switched hands, so he's like, oh no, this hand's back up now.
Well, there's two of them. There's one on
Seriously.
either side.
Tell Tyler to take a bath.
wrong hand. That's John's hand.
Oh, shit. Damn.
Oh
Like,
man.
As far as the beer goes, though, it is very, very heavy. And like, so you guys like to drink this kind of thing?
Oh,
Like,
absolutely.
When is
Oh, yeah.
this an enjoyable beverage?
After
Like,
dinner.
Right now.
Anytime.
so after you're already full, like you want
Which
to,
is why we have the screw bottle cap, which is really, really smart. You don't have to pour a 12-ounce pour or a 10-ounce pour to 4 ounces. After dinner, enjoy it. Maybe have some ice cream with it.
You can't drink non-beer. Who is this?
I did just ignore him.
Yeah, I'm a little let down. He just said 4 ounces.
I did too.
No, but no, like I understand.
Who are you
like,
with you, John? With John? Also,
Whoa.
I was just drinking this. It's about 4 ounces. And
So at the tap
That's
room,
good
like
amount.
this comes out of the spigot, right? Or they just
yeah. No, they have it on tap normally.
I wouldn't mind trying it like right out of the
10
tap.
ouncer.
I also wouldn't mind if they threw some. If they had it on nitro. Obviously, things are a little different. I think this would be a great beer for that velvety nitro finish. I mean, you can say that about a lot of beer, but
I can't stand nitro.
how did you ever win RC Pro-Am then?
He's young. He doesn't get that reference.
No, I don't. And I'm cool with that.
That was like the game.
I have it on the Switch. I think we can play it.
Nice. RC Pro.
Double check.
You can't say nice if you don't know what we're talking about.
I love playing video games, so yeah.
If you
Nice.
love playing video games, you would have played RC Pro-Am at this point in life.
I'm gonna stab you. It's gonna happen. Lindsay, when he doesn't come
He's
home
not
tonight,
Because I'm beating him at RC Pro-Am. That's
actually
I know how to use nitro, and he's just sitting the gas.
no, I don't like nitro with my beer, dick.
oh god,
For me, it changes
that was amazing.
the texture too much of the beer. I don't like that velvety, creamy bullshit. I like the true texture of the beer. I like to be able to get the different flavors a little easier.
I'm not saying that it needs to be that way, but try and
it
like
would-
side by side.
Well, I mean, I would
Yeah.
try it because, well, I like beer, and if somebody's
Right.
like, dude, do this back to back,
Well,
I'd be like, okay.
Well, why didn't you just say like Bud Light Lime or Bud Light
Orange.
Okay,
not
so
lime.
basically, so you said basically, so adding nitro to this is like saying, hey, here's Bud Light. Here's Bud Light with an orange in it, and you were okay with that.
No, I hate, because I hate Bud Light. That's what's funny.
So they added orange to it, and all of a sudden you can
Yeah,
drink
yeah.
it. They saw you coming from a mile away.
They gave it flavor other than
They
this.
have a marketing team of billionaires sitting down. I was like, screw this, guys. Just add orange to it. They'll drink. They walk away.
Yes. I'm fairly certain that's what that team did, yeah.
I love it.
It's the same marketing guy. Like, all right, we already toppled the landscape with Bud Light Lime. What are we gonna do next? Orange.
Oh yeah, and then we'll add tomato juice to it. Yeah, they'll drink that.
Actually,
too.
they started with that before the lime. I remember
They
that.
did.
Like the Bud Light Ritas, I think I remember like their first and foremost.
The strawberries.
The strawberries, yeah.
Those were weird.
Those things are trash. Go with the Modelo versions, but
Actually, they're like 8 ounces of 12%. It just tastes like sugar water. So if you're
Yeah.
on a lake, those things are
Are they really?
fucking-tastic for
I've never
pontoon.
really thought about it out on the
If
lake.
you're gonna be, in my opinion, an avid Bud Light drinker, you really don't care what you're drinking. So, like, if they had orange
Can't
to
argue.
it, if they had shoe leather polish
I
to
don't
it,
drink
you're
Bud
just gonna
Light
drink it.
in general. Bud Light Orange
Only
is
when
Bud
they
Light
add
Orange.
orange.
It's literally the only version of Bud Light I drink. I don't even drink the Platinum, which is a higher ABV.
Does anybody else here getting defensive and justifying his Bud Light drinking?
No, I love Bud Light Orange. I ain't gonna argue.
Diesel's good.
That's
It's
not Bud Light.
though.
What's Diesel?
Bud Diesel, Bud Heavy,
Budweiser.
full body Bud, 5%er.
Oh, just like the regular Bud? Like
Yes.
the king of beers Bud?
The
That's not
king.
Terrible.
No, it's
Exactly.
It's
And
not
until
Bud
the
Light.
next morning when you wake up and your
tastes
head's
like what you
splitting.
want to get.
Yeah, like Coors Banquet. I enjoy.
Yeah, like I want to be an American. I'm gonna drink some Buds.
I want to hate the
I
next
mean, it's a red can.
36 hours of my life with a headache.
With the bow
Like,
tie,
yeah.
with the nice
Exactly.
bow
Todd
tie.
Diesel.
You know, I mean, that
So
sounds good.
so
All right, back to
we'll
this
get
beer.
we'll get to the score. I did have one quick thing, Sun King related.
We straight up went off the rails.
Yeah.
Never.
Because they are doing something brand new, and it is
Oh,
they
yeah.
have a slushy style beer that is released this Thursday, and they have 3 different flavors: Vince Man Mango, Raspberry Berry, Penny Pineapple, and these are actually shelf stable, non-exploding slushy beers.
So, for those of you in the realm of beers that enjoys those slushies, but yet you either have to keep them cold the entire time or be scared, or even when you do keep them cold, they sometimes are still...
Be scared.
We know they're shelf stable because Kevin tried every possible thing he could do to make it.
Yeah,
explode.
they tested them for months under very extreme circumstances, really weird circumstances.
Like a paint shaker.
He straight up raised the heat up quite a bit, lowered it quick, back
Yeah.
to warm, did all sorts of shit to them, and they don't go boom.
No.
I'm excited to try them just because it's something very different for Sun King. It's not their thing at all. They do when they do specialty stuff. It's like let's fucking throw this in a barrel, and this is the complete opposite version.
But
I'm
they
excited
do a
to try
good
it.
job. Like, I think that the Sun King, the small batch stuff they do, their flavors are great. But
Oh,
like, when
absolutely.
they do their smaller bits, man, phenomenal. Like, one of my favorite local beers is the Victory Lager they make for the Indianapolis Indians.
Yep. I drink it a lot at Indians games.
Oh, jeez.
But
so
that's more
much.
just because, even though it's like $1 more than
It
like
does
Coors Light,
not matter. It is.
I want to drink an Indians beer
such
at an
a
Indians game.
good beer. Like, it's everything I love about a beer. It's a full flavored lager. It's got a little bit of amberness to it, a little bit of sweet on the end, but like they do a great
Well,
job. And
what are the Indians again?
we are AAA.
No, but what sport do they play?
We play baseball.
Is everything I could. Well, fuck it.
The old ball and stick game. The old stick ball
I
game.
knew it. I've been to an Indians game. I had fun at Indians game.
I thought
Also
about
worked
letting
out
it
that
go,
fun.
and then it was like, nah, we got to make fun of John. a
Well,
little
last
bit.
year was like one of the first for me. My family and I, we always go to opening day at Victory Field. We've sat out there in the snow. We've sat out there in the sleet. Last year I had to sit at home, but I did drive to multiple Sun Kings to find my Victory Lager, so I could sit at
Attaboy.
home and do
Sun
it.
King, so they work
And I hope we
together.
get
Damn it.
baseball back to Indianapolis this year. I think that'll be a good thing. I miss live baseball as much as I miss live music. So
I had
I'm
fun
the
at
same
an
way.
Indians game. It's fine.
Same way. My brother called me the other day and asked me, he goes, man, if they have sporting events where we can actually go to again this year, he's like, what are you, like, are you going to go? Or I'm like, I will go to every sporting event I have the chance to. I don't care if it's a Comets game up in Fort Wayne, if it's Victory Field, if it's some bullshit D3 basketball game. I just want to go to
I'm really sure
sports.
we could go to a polo
So
game.
why did
Of
you
course, yeah.
why did you go Comets in Fort Wayne? Why wouldn't you just go see the Field play?
Well, I'm from Muncie,
It's not my fault.
so I go to both.
Stop blaming me.
Well, I'm a
great
Hawks
answer.
fan, so I go to Field games. Don't worry.
Okay.
But
But no, the Comets are a far better. Like,
they're better.
I'm a huge
They're a
Field
lot better.
fan, but like the Allen County Stadium is a great place to go watch live hockey.
You're not wrong.
Dude, it gets wild up there. They
Dude,
get rowdy.
The Comets are a great team, and where you have to stop talking about cool things because.
No, I say at some point we probably do got to get back to the
Oh,
beers.
yeah, beer.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Well, we haven't even
And
rated
you go
these. The
first on
glasses
this
are
one.
ready for the next beer. I think you guys might forgot we had the last one.
So right now, I'm voting on the Sun King thing for people that got lost in the diatribe of baseball and sports talk. This beer was-
Diatribe, that's a $5 word at least.
Oh, you're welcome.
I think it's diatribe, but whatever.
I don't want to hear it. You say viscuous for viscous, so shut up.
That's called marketing and branding.
That's, thank you.
I get you.
I think
That's what I appreciate
John
about you, John.
touched base on what I think matters most about this beer is this is not a beer that you just grab a can of and sit there and drink by yourself. And with that being said,
That's done it, but whatever.
and I have had like all the peanut butter porters and stouts and this and that, and this is the only one that's actually been creamy, smooth. It doesn't dry my mouth out. Like it wasn't overwhelmingly just bitter at the end. And I'm going to give this one a relatively high score of probably a 3.75.
That is a high score for you for this.
Is John going to bully you into bumping that
Don't you
again?
give it?
No,
3.75.
that's solid.
John's like,
I'll let that one stand.
And I want listeners at home. I want you to know it has nothing to do with the fact that they're an Indiana-based brewing company. I pointed out like I do not like these kind of beers, and I've had many peanut butter stouts before. This was very drinkable, very enjoyable. I think you could with a lot of things going on, there are a lot of flavors in there. Highly recommend it. I'm sure you can probably get it at like all their tap rooms and stuff like that. Probably comes in a 4-pack.
2-pack.
2-pack. Oh, probably even smarter by their means. But yeah, good beer.
No, damn it, I take it back. That was a variety 4-pack.
Well, you got the variety.
Normally the
four-pack.
King's Reserve.
Yeah, the King's Reserve typically comes in a 2-pack. So you give it a 3.75, correct?
3.75. Yeah.
The one thing I will say that it's been cracking me up the whole time is this beer at 2% lower tastes like it's 13%.
Oh, heavy.
While the last beer at 15% tasted like it was 8. And that to me just always cracks me up sometimes where you can get those, and that's why we have the honorary DUI shelf with the ones that are 15 but taste 8 and shit like that. That it just cracked me up the whole time I was drinking, and I'm like, there's alcohol here, clearly.
Clearly.
There's alcohol here, clearly. While the other one was like, anyway, so how was your day?
Just drinking my butter beer here.
Yeah.
A smoother finish, man. Like that was a heavy beer. Like
yeah.
I mean,
I'm gonna give it a 3.75 as well. It is not a beer I'm gonna seek out, but I think it's a phenomenal, well done beer. They made it very well. It's very clean, very crisp. You're not getting that drying. I'm not getting roasted. Getting roasted peanut. And I always bitch about a peanut butter. Peanut butter is creamy and sweet. Roasted peanuts are not. Yeah. And so when somebody say it's a peanut butter beer and then give me roasted peanuts, I get pissed. This was a peanut butter beer, and it was very good, but it's not quite seek out for me. So I'm gonna give it 3.75.
That's fair. I'm not mad at any of you guys. Those are great scores.
Sounds like I'm not mad at you. It's a 5.
I'm not mad at
you.
Let down.
Going 5. It is a well crafted beer. I think they nailed the chocolate peanut butter. I'm gonna go 4 1/4. I will seek it out again. I will go buy it again. It is a absolute redemption for them because that chocolate orange was so bad.
So bad.
So a little bit of faith restored. Makes me feel better about it. But 4 1/4. And one final thought. Indy Fuel are 8-1. Fort Wayne Comets have not played a single game yet this year.
No, I knew that.
Fort Wayne is not playing this year. Yeah,
they got decimated by COVID up in that area.
The Fuel are 8-1.
Well, Fort Wayne is getting their instructions from their home team, which is the Colorado Avalanche, and they're like saying, "Hey, we're not playing, so we don't want you guys to do it."
What's it come out to? 4.
Rounds up to 4.
But for all you guys looking, I went to the home opener Fuel game. I'm going again on February 15th.
I saw you because you went with Charles, didn't you?
Yes.
I thought I saw that post.
It's always like one of those things. We have a great hockey. We're trying to bring hockey back a little bit, and
Indy Fuel games are fun.
They're fun. Yeah, they're
and
fun.
You have all the good beers. I mean, Sun King's there, Beer Brewing Company's there.
They got dollar hot dog nights and cheap PBR nights.
And then on February 10th it's a Wednesday. It's all you can eat day, so it's all you can eat hot dogs.
Dude, I love
nachos.
those days.
Yeah, I mean it basically pays for itself, and I've actually taken Ben Barrick so he can talk about like how my kids are doing, and
is that your update day?
Yeah, it's just kind of the thing. It's like, hey man,
Ben, do you leave a little bit early while Ben stays? And
absolutely.
But only in the driveway.
Yeah, he's like, hey man, like, can you go get me a beer? It's like, sure. Here's $2, man. I'm gonna leave. Take care of my kids for me.
You got a few more kids, so I figure you got to work some time in there.
Well, I mean, he's got weird features, you know. I'm pretty sure he's descended from like Albanian gypsy whores.
I thought it was Italians, mafia maybe.
No, that's the other one.
That's Mancuso.
Yeah, that's Mancuso.
Oh.
Speaking of Ben, and Charles talked about this when he was on, but that little web series that they did about Ben being this presidential candidate or mayoral candidate,
that was so much fun.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
however, I do not like to give Ben Barrick any credit for anything, so let's just
Charles did that one.
And we love Charles.
I'll switch gear here because I don't know that we really did a whole lot of the bill paying stuff yet. Did we do any shouts for like?
We did.
The sponsors or like where you can see us. Okay.
And we did Ugly Pete. And Matt, what were your thoughts on peanut butter, chocolate peanut butter go and?
So the chocolate peanut butter King Reserve, I very much agree with Tyler. Where I would go a 3.75 plus. Like 3.75 seems low, but it's not quite a 4 for me because it's not quite seek it out. It was a very well executed peanut butter chocolate. They both were there. It was a very drinkable stout. Personally, I could have gone for it maybe being a little thicker, and I think that's where that nitro comment came out. I think that a little heavier body could have helped. And I could have gone for a little more chocolate or peanut butter flavor. It was there, but I was kind of hoping for a little more of both of those. But it was done well. But I feel like there's been some, I don't know, we say we don't try to compare, but with peanut butter, it is hard to do it right. This was one that did it right. But we've had some other ones where like they just kind of nailed it a little bit more with that that more prominent flavor. So very good, very drinkable. If it's around, you see it, and you're interested, definitely try it. Definitely worth getting. Definitely worth having. Very good beer, but just not seek it out for me.
I was just so happy that it was much better than chocolate orange.
I have complete faith in them when it's the King's Reserve stuff normally is good.
They had a miss.
Yeah, one miss doesn't constitute.
And now knowing that
them getting
backstory,
written off.
I've yet to have a King's Reserve that was a 5 for me.
Yeah.
But I've always enjoyed King's Reserve series.
They do a good job.
And She Carrie is still watching and says, "Good Lord, that's a thick pour."
Oh, the one I just poured? Yeah,
this one might have been the 10W30.
So, the beer we are about to drink is the Ye Who Enter Here by...
Oh, what is this?
Apparently, you had
Bye.
much more party than we did.
By Orpheus Brewing,
This is everything.
out of Cincinnati, right?
Is it no?
No, I thought that's
Bought
where
in
you got it.
Cincinnati. On the left side of the label, it says where it's at.
Oh, I gotcha. I was going off of what you said earlier. Oh, it's out of Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh.
There we
ATL.
go.
The Dirty South.
I believe it's pronounced Dirty South.
It's
like the
imperial
Fs.
stout aged in whiskey barrels with chili peppers, coffee, and vanilla beans.
I better taste some chili peppers.
Again, we've talked about it even on
That
this
is-
episode. If it's on the bottle, it better be in the bottle. But yeah, this is the Ye Who Enter Here, and they even have a little thing that says "Don't Look Back." I'm excited. Menacing in stature, Ye Who Enter Here is an imperial stout with
More than Tyler can't say.
Well,
I can't teach you how to read on the air. Dude. It's just
yeah,
hard.
Guajillo, de Arbol, and Poya chilies, coffee from East Pole Coffee Company, and Madagascan vanilla beans, aged in an assortment of whiskey barrels for 2 years. At once overpowering... Oh, hold on. There's not a comma there. I thought there was. At once overpowering you and lulling you to dreams of a distant past, you can't quite remember, in a world of teeming with noise and flesh. Abandon all, ye who enter here.
Just
And
abandon them.
What's
Not
that-
abandon
What
hope.
percentage are we at on this one?
Oh, there is a hope. Abandon all hope.
13, I do believe.
13?
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is the reason I kind of bought this
Oh my
in
God.
Cincy.
Holy shit! It was bottled on my birthday this year.
This
My 30th birthday.
this is a
5/12,
2-part beer
2020.
series. They got
30th birthday?
And what's your mother's maiden name?
Why?
You just
That's
gave
a
away
weird-
one of your security questions.
Oh, no. No, that's never on my...
no, it's his father's middle name.
Nobody would get that. Wow. That would be a great security
I mean, so
question.
this smells exactly the reason like why I don't like these beers.
And
Shit.
for the record, on the purchasing of this, the people like Ye Who Enter Here, why does that sound familiar? It is from the Passion of Dante's Inferno.
Yeah.
And this is a 2-part beer. There's Lose All Faith, which is the first beer. This is the Ye Who
Yeah,
Enter
we
Here.
skipped one. It's fine.
Hey, hit the nerd button.
That was an amazing look.
Anyways,
Well-
so they're both 30% stouts. This one is the version that's got the peppers and the coffee. The other one does not. So if you wonder why, it's like, I feel like they're missing something on the title. They kind of are, but it's intentional. John's face looks perplexed. Even on CanCam.
There's a little bit of a... There's kind of an adventure there.
The peppers on the front end, like I normally expect the
They're
pepper
hanging
to
out on the
finish,
back end, though,
but
too,
like it
actually.
hits you like on the there's pepper, and then it just kind of like blends out. But there's so much.
Take a slightly bigger gulp.
Yeah.
Big gulp, huh?
Yeah, big gulp.
It does linger more if you take a big gulp.
This is why dares were invented.
I double dog dare you to take a big gulp.
We have to have him come over after our beer's finished. Speaking of which, so we had our brew day Saturday with Kevin Smo Smolar, who gave us the Smolar Swirl. Brian Suter, who's also been on the show. And then the Two Beerded Guys plus Offscreen Matt had a brew day.
I have to chew this to get it down.
We
You're welcome.
We made a toasted imperial brown with blueberries, ghost peppers, and
Maple syrup.
maple syrup. Thank you. That was the one I was missing. And we used ghost peppers specifically because we were trying to figure out the pepper we wanted to use and what heat level we wanted. And we decided on we wanted something that you felt, something that lingered a little bit, not burned you out where you couldn't drink it because we still wanted drinkability. But we're using ghost peppers now, not too many because, oh boy, they're like 1.2 million Scoville units, and so you got to be a little careful with them. But we use ghost pepper specifically to make sure that our beer, you will not have to big gulp to actually notice the warmth. You will get the warmth.
And they are homegrown
Yep.
by Mr. Kevin Smo. So
Interesting that the peppers they're there.
It's there in the front and it's there in the
You
back.
taste
It's just
it,
not
but
like...
they don't hang out, which I'm completely okay with.
It's not smoke your face out with it, though. But you get it in the front and the back. You get that pepper spice without as much of the heat, maybe. Am I saying that?
no, I was going to say so. They're peppers that provide a little bit more of that
Flavor, not
smoky versus heat.
The barrels, by the way, were rye whiskey and bourbon.
They're when I add poblano peppers to my chili,
Fabuano?
poblano, that's the flavor I'm looking for from those poblano
More
peppers.
smoky, not heat.
Yeah.
And that's what these peppers I can barely pronounce.
I think Guajillo is a sub for poblano.
Ah, okay. So
I've heard of Guajillo before.
We don't know Pabuano was the drug dealer from Colombia, so
Poblano Escobar, yeah.
Absolutely.
That's Pablo Escobar.
Actually, I think that's just a street name. His God-given name was Poblano Escobar.
Yeah, because you can't like walk. How would you get that stuff from Pablo's? Like they're gonna know who you are right away. Like
Yeah.
the Mancuso crime family will tell you, you don't say Mancuso
No, you call him Fatty.
Except for Bill.
or Blondie,
Giorgio.
Luigi.
Alphonse.
Oh, definitely an Alphonse. A
Mario
Romero.
died last week, didn't he?
Huh?
Didn't Mario die last week?
Mario.
Otto.
Oh, that's it.
Otto, yeah. Otto and Boom Boom and Knuckles, it's kind of like all this one thing. They were in the same Fiat trying to parallel park in New York. It's terrible.
Is anyone else just thinking like Inglourious Basterds where they're all trying to get in? Like, I speak Italian third best. Gorlami. Dominic De Coco.
Man, that's no joke. That beer is tough.
That is interesting.
It's definitely. I'm not sad about it. I think it's well done.
I think it is well
I
done.
think it's pretty good. Like it's well done, and I think it's pretty much what they say it's supposed to be. Like it's not that on the bottle, not in the bottle situation.
Where you want to write it down?
Yeah, I just want to
It's just
look
it's
at it.
an interesting adventure. Like,
Again, neat artwork. If it's part of Dante's theme, I kind of like the Inferno looking thing. Nice little skull with a tunnel, walking down Goonish style.
right?
So, when we're done scoring this, while he's rinsing the glass, what I want you to do is talk a little bit more about anything you had written down that you were wanting to bring in for us today. Talk about yada, yada, yada. We did a lot of that in hour one. I want to make sure that anybody who joined in hour two know what Indiana Untapped is, you do, that kind of thing.
Oh, yeah.
Where to find you?
Absolutely. You want to jump in now? Because I can do it. I mean...
Yeah, go right ahead. He's rinsing it out. Go ahead.
Yeah, so we're talking about new breweries, right? I mean, that's always a great thing. People, especially this time, like opening up something new. It's not the greatest time
It'd
in
be
the
terrifying
world,
to do
but
something like
that. Yeah.
people are doing it. And like right now, it's Southern Indiana that's kind of got a lot going on. I'm gonna throw out a couple. Feed Store Brewing Company out of Bloomfield will be opening up in the second half, of 2020. Yard Go Artisan Ales opened up in Huntingburg, which is not Huntington, which is the big Fort Wayne. Huntingburg is very, very south. Fistful of Ale opened up inside a Fistful of Tacos in New Albany, Indiana. Lighthouse Brewing Company inside of Schnitz Pub.
Okay.
And if you haven't been to Schnitz Pub, it's a great place to go. It's down in Jasper. Hellas's and German lagers and schnitzels and all. A great place to go eat. Great place to go dine. They now have a brewing company going on. Viking Artisan Ales took over Cognito Brewing in Maryville. So obviously it's a location just moving
That
into
is
a new
hashtag
location.
up north.
Up in the dirty north, kind of the region area. You got Creek Bottom Brewing Company in Oldenburg opened up their tap room. So this is their first tap room. They've been distributing for about a year now. You can see, I think Big Red picks up a lot of their stuff, but now you can actually go check them out a little bit. Opening up this year, early on, Clues, we mentioned earlier, in Lebanon should be opening up. And these guys, they have like 800 flavors. And they're all drinkable flavors. They're doing good stuff. Naptronics Brewing in Lafayette. I'm going to let Tyler ask a question here in a second. And Ledgewood in Warsaw is taking over the old Ortho City. Ortho City wasn't around very long. There was some argument over, do we want to be a barbecue joint? Do we want to do beer? And they just kind of like let the whole thing go under a little bit. So Ledgewood came in, and they're going to take over that spot. It's right there
Nice.
off of US 15. I have a lot of family ties up in the northern part, that part of Indiana. My mom grew up in Clunet, and Leesburg is where Hopler Brewing Company is, in the old sawmill. So if you guys have never been to Hopler, these guys are doing things very, very well.
Stefan's tuned in before.
Stefan's a good dude.
Yeah.
We've had his beer on the show before.
Such good people. The location is just absolutely amazing. Totally worth going to. And looking back at 2020, the 14 breweries closed, but we got 14 new ones. So
Well, and that's actually what I was getting ready to ask you about, because I was kind of looking at your notes over here. Or not ask, but just comment in general. We've all been kind of like, we see the closings every day. It's always more advertised than the openings. And it's real easy if you're in the craft beer or restaurant, if anything like that, you hate seeing local places close.
absolutely.
And it's amazing that, as I was sitting here, I knew there'd been a lot of openings. I didn't realize it was equal to. And for me, that is awesome.
That is cool.
And and I don't like to, I'm not going to point fingers at things, but a lot of people that closed during 2020,
We're already struggling.
there was a slow burn. Like, it was probably going to happen sooner than later, and COVID was just kind of that little kick in the pants. It's like, you know what, let's just close. And they did. You know, and like you said, they're local. We're going to miss that. But there's always somebody wanting to do other things. You guys have probably been around the craft beer game for a while. Like, when it kind of started, it was like all about the IPA bit. It's like, oh, how much hops could you fit into a can?
Gross.
And then you slowly saw that transition into all this stuff that we sampled, from hazies to barrels to gozes and stuff like that. So it's great that somebody's always wanting to try something new. And I think one of the most important things with craft brewing these days is getting your niche in your community. And I think Black Circle does that great. I think Books and Brew does a really good job of that. I think when you have a support group of people that you do things for, not just brewing beer for yourself, but making it for other people in the community around you, and that's huge. You know, because
Can I just say, I like the Barton Tyler. I know, I'll get back to you in just a minute.
That was amazing.
But let me finish what I'm saying, then I'll come back around.
I do have an observation.
Oh, boy.
All right, a question, a comment, and an observation.
Which one?
So, comment number one: as you're talking to these small breweries, if they need help, if they would like to invite the Two Beerded Guys down for an Untapped show,
oh, absolutely.
like we don't charge anything for that. We take videos, we take pictures, we highlight food, drink, whatever. Like, we'd love to do that. That'd be great. Okay, good. Just networking.
You're trying too hard, Tyler.
And then number two, Indiana Untapped. One thing I've noticed is
Tap.
Untapped. Damn
You
it,
said tapped.
I did. Because I'm thinking
Singular.
Untapped. I know. I'm thinking. I got Untapped in Indiana.
Like tapping
Untapped.
today, not tapping yesterday.
I know, yeah.
Schwarb, come on.
Before
Indiana
hold on, I need to
Untapped.
pause real quick to remind everybody. We still have to score the last one before you drink this.
Oh, shit,
So-
we do.
Well, no, he's
Yeah.
asking questions.
Definitely off
I just
tangent.
wanted to make sure neither one
I
of you
did forget
guys
about
took
that.
a sip.
I
So
did
go
forget
ahead.
about that. So
Good job, Tyler. Way to wrangle us.
you guys do a lot of festivals, and one thing, my observation point, the Indiana Brewers Guild does a lot of the larger festivals. So the Microbrewers Fest, the Indiana Winter Fest, things like that. That's the Indiana Brewers Guild. You guys are doing a lot of ones that seem to be more focused on those smaller communities. Is that purposeful?
Big events, but small towns.
Yes, and there are a couple things that I can't say in regards to that for certain reasons, but those events are huge, and you've been to them,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
like you have like that VIP hour that you spend like the extra $40 for, which is kind of great, but then they open up to the public, and then it's just a free for all and parking and whatnot.
We've tried to do all 90 at a
And
Well,
that,
some of us did.
at a Summerfest.
And that is big for the
We did
state.
okay.
Like, those are for state, like, the entire state to show up.
Yeah.
The events that we do with the municipalities, we want anybody that wants to come be there. But those are like the mayors and the aldermen of the community saying, hey, we want to do something for our people. Like, what would be a fun thing to do? Where, one, we can create revenue and just have a good experience, like, for people to come out. And the guild probably won't do that at all. But we'll all day long. It's like, and we contact the brewers, and we get a hold. We know the people at the events. We get the staging and whatnot. Like, if you have to have a stage nowadays, you have to talk to Homeland Security. It's interesting. It's because it was the event at the state fairgrounds where the stage collapsed. And,
Yes,
but
the
now
storm came through.
the storm
blew
came
speakers
through.
down.
You mean the Who concert, right?
So now you have
Was
to
that-
go through these people to do
That
that,
was
and
the
we
Who,
do
right?
all that.
Sugarland.
So, like, when you sign up with
No,
us,
before
like,
that.
we take responsibility
It
for
was like State
getting
Fair, like
all
a
those
year
things
before
in
that. There was like a
line.
rock band that did that.
And loggers in Lawrence, they're
Pretty sure
not
it was the Who.
necessarily wanting to do things. Hey, come check out Lawrence, because in a bit they are. But, like, hey, thank you for living in Lawrence. Thank you for going to our schools and
Why didn't you say
shopping in
Indiana
our areas.
specifically?
We want to do this for you, and come out, have a good time, and that's kind of where we do things a little bit differently than the guild, because we don't have the policing so much.
Right.
And we love having, like, anybody come in. Like, it used to be 100% Indiana, but now we love people coming in from Kentucky. There's a couple, like, right across the board.
Yeah.
Well, Loggers
We
and
did.
Lawrence had,
At Goodwood,
yeah.
definitely, and I'll
and they were awesome.
and they are moving to Indiana. They're going to open
Are
up
they
in
really?
Indiana a little
Nice.
bit.
That's awesome.
And Monic Beer out of Louisville is coming to Indiana as well. for the sole purpose of we had met them at events, and they're not doing it specifically because any and Untapped brought them in.
Let's be real.
But they get to
Take credit for that.
But they get to meet people, and they get to see how we do things, like how Indiana beer does things. And there's really not a lot of competition so much. You think there's so many craft breweries out there, but like it's like a gang, man. Like everybody's in it together. Like everybody wants everybody to be successful. Like
I think it's like bloody turf wars.
No, it's dead honest. Like, think about it. If I have 7 breweries in my area that are all doing well, some of the best business you can get are by the people that come into town and then hit all 7.
It's a tourism thing.
So you want to work together.
And like there are breweries that like they're like, hey, you know what? Like I'm only brewing this beer this week. I have these other vats. If you want to brew some of your beer using my vats, you're more than welcome to do it. You know, and like obviously, like you pay them a certain bit. It's almost like a vat rental type thing. But you get to produce more beer. I'm making money. You're making money. We're giving beer back to the people that we want to give beer to, and it's this really it's like a brotherhood. It's really neat watching these people go in, and then like when you see the brewers get together and they're like drinking their beers and they're doing handoffs and they're like talking, oh hey, this is this. Hey, maybe you should try doing. Hey. Maybe we can combine these efforts and we'll make like one weird beer. Like
Events like that are how those collabs are born.
And they're
constantly.
great. And they're great. Like sometimes they fall through, sometimes they don't. But like, you love it. And if you're a Hoosier, or you don't have to be a Hoosier, you go get that anyway because you want to know what it's like. And we'll rate beers all day long.
I'm about to interrupt just real quick because we need to rate at least the last beer.
Yeah, I really want to get this
Something
next
about-
beer. I'm going to be the dick.
I don't care about that.
Oh,
But,
I really want that
we
next
need
beer.
to rate the last beer specifically before we forget it.
Yeah, I'm checking things off my list here. Yeah.
Like I said, we had that. Our last beer was the Yeet
Yeet
Winter
here.
here Imperial Stout aged with whiskey barrels, chili peppers, coffee, and vanilla beans. 13% out of Atlanta, Georgia.
I didn't get any vanilla.
I did. See, I thought the vanilla was used as a very good balancing agent.
I will say, having the empty glasses in the sink, I definitely got that hot sauce smell from the pepper. It was just kind of fun. Like, yep,
Hot
it's
sauce
all
is very
right
more
here.
smoky than hot. It's
Agreed.
You're first, right?
3, 1, 2, 3. No, it
Me?
is you.
Okay. I think it was fine. It was a good beer. Not all the flavors came through for me. I enjoy the pepper. Just a flavor that I really like. I like it in chili. I like it in my barbecue. I like it in my beer. Wasn't a home run. I don't know if I'd seek it out again, but I'm going to go 3.5.
Did he just baseball reference?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
We were told
No more baseball on the show, John!
Damn it.
So that means we can hit a triple, double, single, anything like that, and just talk a whole lot about
I
baseball.
don't know, man. I
references.
probably just put it on first. It's just free pass.
And
So
you're
anyway,
done.
Your
Let's
score. Go ahead.
One thing I really did like about it was the pepper was on the front end. Like when you drank it, I got the pepper notes. Normally, when I drink a beer with pepper, it's a finish. Like that pepper just kind of lingers around on the tongue a little bit. So I like that. I didn't like the sludginess of it, and it's a really terrible way to describe a beer. But it was very, very thick. But it didn't taste. No, it tasted heavy. I'm trying to I'm looking at things over here. I would not drink this beer on a regular basis by any means, because it's not my wheelhouse. But the fact that I've had beers like this and that beer struck out to me, the fact that I tasted all the flavors up front and did not finish and didn't finish heavy, I give it a good 3. Because I don't like that style of beer, but that was good. I mean, it was. I would love to share that with other people that like me that don't like that style of beer, to say, hey, you know what, they can be drinkable-ish. Although I did think I had to chew through half of it.
I love the rich body. That very big, thick body. That's how a stout, especially a barrel-aged
We
stout
like them
should
thick.
Like, and by the way, Cardi B's on the show tonight.
be. Yeah.
He didn't say why.
I think it's perfect for me. I'm going to go with a 3.75. I think it's a solid beer. It's not what I'm going to go look for. But it's a solid beer with solid flavors. I disagree with John on the vanilla. I think the vanilla was there and used very well to balance out the other flavors.
I'm with John. I don't. If there was vanilla, I do not.
It's been a minute
recall
since I
it.
drank it.
That's why I kept
stood
trying.
out.
That's why I tried to loop us back. But yeah, so that comes out to a 3.5. barely. But a solid beer.
All right, we're gonna go with the with this one real quick, and then finish up the show.
Yep. So our last beer is the Mocha Rhino Soup by Ale Song Brewing and Blending. For those of you that remember the name Ale Song, it's because they own 2 of our 4 overall 5s. Imperial Milk Stale aged in bourbon barrels with coffee and cocoa. It is 12.2%, so a little bit lower than our other big boys tonight. And it is out of Eugene, Oregon.
I'd like to shout out to my friends Drew and Megan, who just moved to Eugene, Oregon a couple weeks ago.
Go to Ale Song.
A Mocha Rhino Soup, a blend of imperial stouts aged in Heaven Hill bourbon barrels and finished on hand-selected and freshly roasted Nicaraguan coffee and Honduran cocoa nibs from the local artisans at Coffee Plant Roasters and Chocolate Alchemy. Notes of vanilla and coconut marry with the flavors of dark cocoa and roasty coffee for a decadent treat any time of the day. Like a song, each beer is our expression. The enjoyment and interpretation is yours.
You know what, ladies and gentlemen, listening at home, I'm going to read this like the ladies' man would read it.
Like the
A
latest
blend of
one?
Imperial Stout aged in Heaven Hill bourbon barrels.
Yeah, you're done.
Oh man, that's gonna
Which I've seen
That
some.
was a weird ass voice.
Some
yeah,
of
it's the
the-
ladies' man. Tim Meadows,
Oh,
SNL.
you mean? Oh, this smells like a
It
lady.
smells like a lady.
Mr. Ladies Man, I work at a man who works at a perfume factory. Do not ever ride the ladies man again. You mean that ladies man?
That ladies' man is who I'm talking about. Yes.
Can I buy you a 5th sandwich?
I hate you both.
So
Ooh, it's a lady.
Don't. I hate you because you made me be with Tyler on that one. God damn it.
I definitely feel like I had something to say, and I completely lost it with the ladies man.
Good. You agree with him, therefore you suck.
God.
Oh, by the way, your score doesn't count, but what would the last one have been?
Last one, I think 375. I'm gonna continue my chain of agreeing with Tyler today. Was the appropriate score?
Body's going to be happier for you.
It had I appreciated the thickness, actually. I like that almost chew it 10W30 weight to it. It had all the flavors. It says it's going to do 13%. It's very appreciable. It wasn't quite search it out, but it'd be like a 3.7.
Approachable?
Purchasable?
Approachable?
Purchasable.
Seek
You
outable?
can buy it or not?
Go ahead, sorry.
Wasn't quite seek outable. So it's a little shy of that for
I like
me,
that.
but
I like
I definitely was glad to try it, and I'm looking forward to trying the other one as well. So I'm not sad at the purchase. I would, if you see it and you're interested in one of those again.
That's a good 70s
Try
punk
it,
band name,
but-
the Seek Audibles.
Write that down, Tyler. We're working on band names and album names that we're
Opening
never
for the
gonna use.
goddamn it's the Seek Audibles.
But I am very excited for this, though.
No, like I have this like unwanting leeriness of like the worst defensive coordinator in the world looking at me right now while I'm drinking
Chuck
beer.
Pagano?
Yeah. He's basically coaching this drinking into me into like the ground. He's basically just ruined my good time. Like I was having such a great time, and now I have to look at that. I'm gonna go, like,
Turn around. It'd be better.
I want to like go cut donuts in his
That's
house
actually
in Zionsville.
true.
Turn around. Turn around.
Yeah,
It'd be
You
better.
will
Around
appreciate
is
the
better.
view in behind. Oh, I remember what it was.
Better.
All right. So this is aged in Heaven Hill bourbon barrel, you said.
That's what I read, yeah.
I've seen that on a few other barrel-aged stouts and stuff, but I've never actually had a Heaven Hill bourbon myself.
You've never had Heaven Hill?
That's
Not-
a good point.
not that
You're a
I
bourbon
believe.
guy.
I know, but I don't know that I've ever really seen it to get anywhere, or if I haven't
Every
ever.
liquor store in the area has it.
Okay, so apparently, because
You just don't look for it.
some of the beers have really towed up. Oh, we got this in Heaven Hill.
It's very
highly
solid.
sought after
No,
Heaven Hill.
It's
like,
solid. It's just... It's
okay.
at a price, not a bad price range, but not a good price range, and it's not a great bourbon. It's not a bad bourbon.
So it's a higher price.
It's a weird, like, combo level.
Okay.
So this
That's
is
probably why I don't know about
not light-bodied, but it's not
In
that
comparison
thick.
to the last
Compared
one,
to the last,
in
yeah.
the comparison
Yeah.
to the last one, it's water.
Yeah.
It's not
yeah.
a light body, but in
No.
comparison to the light one,
Compared to
it's
the
straight
last
up water.
two, this is pretty on point.
Valerie's still watching. She says thick.
What up, Val?
Like eight C's. Ooh, can't talk.
But it is soft. There's some nice flavors in there.
It's crisp.
It is.
Which I
It
kind of
is.
like
It
about
is.
that.
It's almost more nitro-y, as you were saying earlier.
Almost so.
It's kind of got that
I'm not getting
creamier
velvety.
head to it, and it's
There's more Swedish vanilla-y notes in this, even though that wasn't part of the description, than there was in the last one that clearly stated vanilla notes.
Well, I think you're getting just some of the.
Notes of vanilla
Base.
is one of the very first things I
Well,
read.
you didn't read it like the ladies' man would have said. There's notes of vanilla.
Notes of vanilla and coconut.
See, now I see where you're going. The first time you sound like a Valley girl.
Perfect coffee.
I hate you.
I know. You invited me.
No one but yourself to blame. Yeah, you're in charge of booking.
Before Molly and Charles' wedding. You know.
I didn't. Did I buy you beers?
Yeah, you did. Because I had to
I thought
drive.
beers around the house.
No, because I had to drive the bridesmaids and bride over to the wedding, and so I was there before it was on the house.
Oh.
Yeah, you open up tab, let me buy it. You even said that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Tyler. Okay.
And it was
okay.
fantastic.
It sounds like something I would do.
All right, so we're pushing 15 after, so we're going
Oh,
a
who
little,
cares?
little long in the tooth here.
But anyway, back to this beer. All right, hold on.
When I say it, it's a problem. When Tyler says it, it's fine.
What other points you got for us?
Oh
bud?
yeah, so real quick, St. Benedict's opened. They're in Southern Indiana. They opened up 2 off-site tap rooms and restaurants. Black Circle, as we all know, they opened Loom. For people that live Midtown, Loom is a place where you can go get your laundry done, and they have a tap house. It's where Black Circle always brewed their beer.
The laundry.
The laundromat tap room.
Where?
Huh.
What is
It's on 46th Street. It's so
They have Pac-Man tabletop.
They have 2.
Wait, so it's in the same place that it's always been, you're saying? Or
So Black Circle sits on the end of 46th Street in Keystone.
Oh, I'm very
and,
aware.
And Loom is right down the street a little bit on 46th
Loom.
Street.
Okay.
But it's where Black Circle brewed, and they still brew their beer there.
Okay, I was unaware of
They
this.
just put some like industrial laundry equipment up front, so you can go get your laundry done, have some beer while you wait for your laundry. Really good idea,
That's
Jesse.
cool.
That's fucking
is
genius.
doing a great job.
Is
It's different.
Is Ella Ruiz, is that how you say? Are they still
And
with
they're
the...
still in the new Black Circle area,
Okay.
and they actually
Shout out
have
to them because they always had good food every time I was
phenomenal food, and now
Ham
they have a
croquettes.
walk-in place to eat. So as opposed to just going and getting to go, there's an actual indoor restaurant. So you walk through Black Circle, you go right. Eloise is right there. You can sit down and get a bite to eat.
While
Phenomenal
your
place.
clothes are drying.
Well,
That's down the road.
That's down the
Okay.
road
My
at
bad,
Loom.
my bad.
Come on, I remember this.
Keep up,
Wedgwood
John.
and South Bend Beer Works are moving locations. They're staying in the region, St. Joe County. They're just changing things up a little bit. Chesterton Brewing Company and Mad Paddle, local, they're starting distilleries this year. So they've been around for 3 years. They're going to try their hand in the spirit range. We talked on not so much, but Goodwood Brewing Company out of Louisville, Kentucky, phenomenal
That's the one that
brew
was in
company.
Loggers.
They come to Loggers in Lawrence. They've come to quite a few of our events.
We like them a lot.
Great. They make simple beer flavors. They're going to open up in Indiana, and Monnick Beer Company, Monnik, from Louisville, Kentucky. They will be making their way to Indiana as
I've been
well.
to Monnick.
And one of the big baseball mentions is Jason Cook, probably the most eligible free agent in the brewing business, is switching from Flick's Brew House, where he was there for a very short amount of time, and he will be brewing at Black Dog in Mooresville, Indiana.
Oh, it's not baseball.
And he will definitely expand their flavors and probably put Black Dog on the map a little bit more, as opposed to just a place to go locally, but give this some distribution as well. Those are all great things early on going on in the state of Indiana as far as craft beer goes. By all means, go to IndianaOnTap.com if you have any questions, if you want to come to events the same way, and if you have issues with anything that you do as far as your thoughts and going to events, let us know. We will help you out. We want you to have a good time. We want you to see you in public. We want to see you with a beer in your hand and enjoy your
Indiana on tap, not untapped.
Not on
That's a
not
bit
on
different.
tap
That's a
by any
different thing.
means.
This beer.
Beer.
This beer.
Rich,
I feel a little bad that we did this one after the last one because that one was just...
I like the difference.
No, it is, but this one I think is a little hard to get some of the flavor out of it because that other one had so much going on.
See, again, I love the difference. That's what makes them both stand out to me.
I think this one to me is better than the last one.
Rich,
Oh, I
creamy,
agree.
A little bit lighter body, so it's a more approachable by people like, for instance, Barton.
But I have to drink a Bud Light Orange right now just to wash the taste of shame out of it.
Because it's not as
That's not a
heavy
Bud Light
as the
Orange.
others. But I'll tell you what, it is. It's very solid. It's not quite to the
It's
ale
not,
songs
yeah.
that we've had.
Exactly.
But not because it's
Well,
bad.
consider we had 2 5s.
That's what I'm saying.
Again,
It's not going to be a 5 for me.
No.
But I'm very happy
Solid.
with it.
Fine.
I love the balance. I'm going to give it a 4 even. 4 even.
So what is the ale songs flagship? Like what is their beer that
We have
everybody
not
would
had
know
their. So
them
they're not
for?
from around here. Obviously, they're from Eugene, Oregon. We've only had stuff that we got
I can
from.
read, Tyler.
Sweetheart, I will stab you in the throat. We've only had stuff that we've gotten from them through Tabor. So
Okay.
all 3 beers we've had from them have been in the Rhino series.
So
that
I
were
would
all stouts.
presume perhaps the Rhino suit that we originally had might be maybe
I think
their
Rhino
bigger
Suit's the
staple.
base of their stouts.
Right, I think it's
But
one
I
of their bigger
think they
staples, which
lean more
was
darker beers.
amazing.
My
Yeah.
guess. Again, we've only had them through that we've been able to get through Tabor. So, which by the way, you've heard us talk about Tabor a lot. Make sure you use Matt's code at the bottom on the right hand side
Starts with 666.
to get $10 off your first order.
668, the neighbor of the beast.
Oh, also, Valerie and Kevin Atwell both said they love Goodwood Brewery. That place is awesome.
Oh,
So,
yes, absolutely.
We got some viewers that have
They'll be coming to
been
Indiana.
and like.
That's exciting. Do you know where in Indiana they're coming?
I
from?
do not know.
They're coming all over.
Yeah, I mean,
Phrasing.
this isn't like a Peter North promotion right now.
Are they
but
dishing out O's?
Dish nose.
I would imagine they'll probably start someplace closer to south, like probably New Albany, before they get up.
Makes sense.
But they
Old
will be
Albany?
available to distribute once they have a location, so you can get Goodwood beer at your
Yeah,
local liquor
I'm
store.
excited.
So it's a
He
good thing.
accents different syllables very
He
weird.
does. I love it.
Distribute.
Instead of distribute.
I also say advertisement as opposed to advertising.
I like that because it sounds classier. I say that too. Much like crevasse.
But
instead of
anyway,
crevice.
so I gave it a 4, John.
A neckerchief.
I originally was going to go like a 4.25
Easy
because
there, Fred.
it is really good. However, I'm sitting here thinking, would I search this one out? I will buy more L songs, zero doubts about that. But the other twos were such a high bar, I don't want to compare. However, will I search this one out? Probably not, so I'm going to go 3.75.
Man, like you probably shouldn't
You
have
were wrong.
fed
4.
me any of those beers. This one I liked much better than the last two, and that's over Sun King and over the Orpheus. But
Orifice.
it was just it to me it's tough, man. Like having 3 in a row was kind of tricky. I'm not trying to tell you guys how to do your show, but if you like kind of space them out a little bit, like but you can't the heavy hitters, you know, it's like almost like Murderer's Row, like 27 Yankees. It's like who's gonna be the best here? I like it because I could see through it and it looked good. Like it didn't look like motor oil, and it smelled good. It was still a tough finish. I like the coffee, everything about the coffee notes it said it hit on. I'm just not a huge fan. I think with Eugene, Oregon opening up their drug market, they could have like sent some crank or a sack of grass or some rock or something like that. Instead, we drink beer. I'm gonna give it a 2.
I can't buy that online though.
And I know it's going to knock that number down a little bit, but I think people that are listening, and if you put it up there, like, this guy does not like these kind of beers, and he just drank 4 of them, and that
3.
River North was so on point. Like, I kind of, like, set a very high mark for what I thought the others were going to come down as. And
Different style.
Oh, no, different style, but the flavor just wasn't there for me. I like the fact that I could look through it, and I like the fact that I could drink it. But I'm going back to what John said about like my rechange score on the River North, where now if it came down to if I saw River North and this and other things, I would be like, oh no, that's not that great. This is what I would go to. So I'm keeping that one up a little bit high, and that's again,
No, you're good,
people that are
brother.
drinking craft beer, drink all the craft beer you want. But most importantly, get things you would not want to get. Try new things by different breweries. You don't have to keep it local. We'd love it if you stayed in Indiana. But try things. And that's what it's all about. Like,
Yeah,
give
is.
your taste buds a
Give your taste buds a tug.
Matt, not that you count, but what would your score be?
Give your balls a tug, you dirty slut.
That's actually a tit fucker. Yeah, I was kind of thinking
Yeah, your mom's so loose. She said crying.
4 1/4 for me. It's not the 5s that we had from the last 2 ale songs for sure. It's not that higher average where I was hoping for a little bit more out of this. Again, a little victim of their own success. But this is definitely seek it out. This is definitely delicious. It's a well-crafted stout. I'm getting the flavors that they said they're going to put in there. I just had a little higher expectation than what they delivered off of this, off the other ones.
It's the bad thing when you're a brewery that
Yeah, and
can
you crush
deliver.
a couple of them.
Yeah.
And then we have another one like, all right, well, this is really good by like other standards, but
Yeah.
even if you took ale sounding out of the equation, had this like, well, then this is seek out worthy, but it's not a 5.
Have you guys ever done a podcast where you just sampled a line of beers from one brewing company?
We've done it once.
Just from like, pails all the way up to barrel aged and all the stuff in between?
We've done once that was only one brewery. We've done on
Normally our
location. So what we do,
on-sites are like that.
so what we do is
Well,
when
yeah,
we
that
do
makes
our
sense,
on-sites is what we purposely do that for. So on the show, we try to mix it by brewery, by styles, everything. We try to do everything we can
And
on the
we've done
show.
like a core beer night,
Yeah.
where it's their ones that are put out for distribution. So not their specialties, but their core beer. And that was kind of fun.
But we saved the one brewery specifically just for our on-sites.
Okay.
Oh, shit, I just realized we had some comments from the Atwells I missed because I got to bounce screens here. Valerie says, you can get their beer at a few places different around here. Goodwood, that is. Kevin says that, yeah, they got some of the beer fridge right now. So apparently they have some
Nice.
distribution.
Distribution.
Oh, I think that's the one that uses different. No.
You did say it differently.
So anyway, guys,
Distribution.
so that comes out to a 3.5.
We cheated and went with
That comes out to a 3.5.
four.
Which is great. Gives us the ability to really show that even if we like a brewery in general, we're not going to cheat the scores. It's 3.5, which is fantastic. Our scores overall tonight, nothing was awful. We had one stupid good beer, and then the rest were in the kind of the above average or average range. We always end our show with our beer of the night. Off screen, Matt, you start off.
I'm going to have to go with River North 4, number 4.
The Last Guardian.
Last Guardian, because they're one of those breweries as well. I have high expectations, and that's a style I'm not very familiar with. Wasn't sure what to expect, but that was goddamn delicious. That was one that I didn't want to pick it as my most anticipated beer because I knew they were going to do good, but damn, they crushed it.
No doubt, River North.
Two beers really shocked me today. One was the first one we did.
The Mango End Layer.
Mango goes. I do not like those beers. It's very good. But however, I do not like anything barrel aged. And River North was so good. It really. This is why I don't give up on things. It was so good, so enjoyable. River North, hands down. Denver, Colorado. If you're there, go. The Abbey style. Delicious, hands down the best beer of the night.
I mean, I hate for us all to say
4
the
for
same
4.
thing, but it's going to be The Last Guardian.
4?
I agree. The two beers that surprised me the most were the Last Guardian, because even though I knew I've had it before, and it was better than on draft.
Oh, so they have a ringer. Great.
No, but
Thanks,
it
guys,
was
for bringing
better
me
than
here.
on draft, and that to me was awesome.
Yeah.
This beer was
That's
better
rare,
than when I
yeah.
had it on draft, and that shocks the hell out of me. And then actually the Revision Quarantine Dreams was my other one, because I thought the hops in that were so unique, and the flavor profile of that beer was so unique that even though it's not one of my highest scored beers,
You do something different, you stand out.
it was, that's the big thing.
helps.
You did something different. The flavor profile was good. You did it different, and it was good. It stood out. So I had to give them a nice shout out. That is the end of hour 2. We obviously went
Hour
way
2.5.
past time, but you know what? When you have good conversation, you have good information, you got to take full advantage, and we didn't
You have a
want to
guest
end
with
that.
notes.
Gentlemen,
he
thanks
was
for having
well
me. And I
prepared.
think it's worth noting, today is Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day.
Absolutely.
And
Oh,
very
yeah.
much. I would like to. People listening at home, here's a drink to you.
can't do
Way
it.
to do it right, man.
I got a glass.
And a smarter drinker is a better beer drinker. So educate yourself, know what you like, but do not be afraid to try other things. I think, if anything, tonight I proved that I like things that I don't like.
Thank you for
Great
listening.
closeout.
I'm TBG_Ops Guy.
Mudhog B&Q.
With us today, the one and only.
Barton Lewis.
And behind the camera, the guy that doesn't count, but we still love.
I'll screen
I'll
educated
skip.
drinker.
I'll skip
Oh,
that.
ski.
Motherfucker!
Thanks for listening. This is episode 51. Tune in next week for our official exact 1 year of episode.
Yes!
So, as we told you last week, we've been on longer than a year, but we had to miss 2 weeks. So next week is our very last
Episode
episode.
52?
Episode 52. It is our official end of our first year. We love you guys.
Also, our first remote episode?
Thanks for listening.
Keep your stick
We
on
will
the
talk
ice.
to you later. Have a good one.